Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. Congratulations to the Jacksonville Sharks, your 2023 National Arena League champions. Sharks head coach Jason Gibson, a guest of the drill.
From a fan base, I got to tell you, that crowd Saturday night, you talk about electric, it was loud, it was insane. It definitely changed the game. We play that game on the road, we lose, but we played it here. We're at the best franchise in the country. Jacksonville
Sharks head coach Jason Gibson, a guest of the drill. The Sharks captured their third title on Saturday night with a 54-45 victory over the Carolina Cobras. News out of Indianapolis this morning. The Colts have named former Gators quarterback Anthony Richardson as the starting quarterback for Week 1. It's 91 degrees at 12 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention. Attention.
They are not ready for prime time, as they say.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
I'm having nightmares right now.
Matt Hayes.
Their D's going to be really good.
Mia O'Brien.
One of those bugs just flew in my eye.
And Leon Searcy.
Somebody has to go home and cry.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Oh, I am just laughing at myself trying to find the plug-in on my laptop. And, you just try and jam it in anywhere, and it doesn't fit. That's how we're starting the show today. That's how
Bend over and let it happen.
That's how we're starting the show. And I still haven't gotten it in there. All right, now, let's get it rolling. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, they bring you today's show as they try and charge up the laptop. And we're getting everything ready. We got college ball. We got Jaguar ball. I don't know if you have the Taps music handy, but this could be D-Day. This could be, the end for Florida State. We'll find out. We'll tell you what we're talking about, but I don't think it's inappropriate.
We're going to have some fun on today's show.
Yeah, I don't think it's
there are no questions asked.
To play this. It'd be the beginning of the end.
We lost the Pac-12 a few weeks ago.
By the way,
now, could we lose Florida State in the ACC?
Yeah, I kind of doubt it, but you never know. So, Seminole fans, what are you thinking? We can definitely drill down on that today with all of you. Matt Baker, one of the guys who covers the Noles, he went through all day yesterday, starting at 10:39 a.m., August 14th. There's no FSU meeting listed on the Board of Trustees website. He said, I've hit refresh for the zillionth time today. It's now 4:03. Nothing has happened yet, so we'll get into all of it a little bit later on. Now, we've got your Jaguars to talk about. You've got the Dallas Cowboy game still fresh in your mind, and now you've got joint practices with the Detroit Lions coming up. So we'll be talking a bunch about that. Frank Frangie and really the rest of the broadcast team, including Logs, who was on Jaguars Today earlier, they are all headed up to Detroit. So Frange will have his show along with Lauren and Hayes here over the next 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That will all be coming up. But let's just begin today with another team getting better. Another team getting better. Dalvin Cook is now part of the New York Football Jets. Now, I'm not even going to necessarily add Zeke Elliott to this conversation. We'll bring him up later because he goes to New England. But Dalvin Cook plus Aaron Rodgers plus that defense, that's an intimidating bunch up there in New York. How much better did the New York Football Jets, Leon, get last night when this deal went down?
Well, they got extremely better. I mean, the AFC is an arms race. It's been for the last couple of years. Everybody's trying to assemble a team to beat the mighty Kansas City Chiefs, and that Dalvin Cook gives the New York Jets another proponent offensively, another weapon, someone who's a four-time Pro Bowler, someone who is dynamic. You give him a light, and it's a cloud of dust. I mean, he's a game breaker. He's a game wrecker. He's going to help Aaron Rodgers. I always say the best the best proponent for any passing game is a good running game. You know, takes a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers. Everybody talks about that offensive line, but listen, the offensive line. I mean, listen, if you're a good offensive coordinator, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to realize what you have and what you don't have and what you depleted at, and you're going to make adjustments. So that offensive coordinator's job is to make sure that Aaron Rodgers has the ball out of his hand. It doesn't matter whether it be slants, quick hitches, curl routes, check downs, all that kind of stuff. The ball is going to get out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. He's going to be protected. The offensive coordinator's job, Hackett is going to make sure he's going to be taken care of. So the Jets, I mean, adding and listen, I can tell you another thing. I'm not going to name drop anything, but there's a Gold Jacket friend of mine that called me and told me that he is motivated because he tried to get to Miami. And he had to sign with the Jets.
He had to sign with the Jets.
Yes.
I'm curious why that was.
I'm just telling you.
Why was that the consolation?
Well,
I mean, I'm assuming because Breece Hall was activated off the pup this morning.
Yeah, he's from Miami. He wanted to be in Miami. Couldn't orchestrate a deal. Couldn't get anything done. And now with the Jets in Miami, he's motivated to.
In other words,
play ball.
Yeah.
He's motivated to play the Dolphins, and he's in the division with them.
In other words, he wanted a team that he wanted to go to want him. They didn't want him.
They didn't want him.
Now he's like, okay.
I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leon, how familiar are you with this Jets offensive line?
Not that familiar with them. I know this collectively they've got one Pro Bowl amongst all of them. If you
That's
group,
a saucy nug, JJ.
If you group them together,
yeah.
Saucy nugs. I mean, it's going to be a lot of pressure on them, but it's going to be a lot of pressure on the offensive line to protect Aaron Rodgers. But I mean,
because I look at this offensive line, and not to cut you off, but I look at it, and certainly you see hope. You see Mekhi Becton, a former first-round pick, who hopefully they can turn things around after an injury-plagued first few years in the league. Elijah Vera Tucker, another high draft pick, who also ended the season on IR last year. A guy who I've heard out of Jets camp, there's talk of he may have to move to tackle if there is a need there. Because I guess Max Mitchell may not be cutting it. Then I also see, when you look to their second team, I see a lot of guys that I can report full-heartedly. The Jags were looking at these guys. If they hadn't taken Anton Harrison in the first round, these were guys they were looking at in the second, third, fourth round. Joe Tippmann out of Wisconsin. Carter Warren out of Pitt. Those were going to be depth pieces for the Jags. Are they depth pieces for the Jets, knowing that Connor McGovern certainly got maligned by Jets fans? Billy Turner, what does he have left in the tank? So it's very curious to me because I think that is the biggest question mark. And again, we're not as in tune with the New York football Jets as hopefully Dalvin Cook was before he made this decision. And I'm certainly sure that there are people around the league that would look at this Jaguars offensive line and maybe have questions. But the reality is the Jaguars are, if you take Cam Robinson's suspension out of the equation, they're returning 5 starters.
True.
This is a little bit more of a makeshift. This guy ended on IR. This guy we brought in. This is a young cat. A lot more question marks. And that's where if you're Dalvin Cook, I wouldn't have signed up for it necessarily unless I had 100% confidence in it.
Yeah. I mean, and you got to look at it, too. I mean, right now, offensively, the offensive line may be the Achilles heel, but, I mean, there can't be any more Achilles heel than the Cincinnati Bengals last year and the last couple of years. And somehow Joe Burrow fights through and then gets it done and finds themselves in the AFC Championship game as a Super Bowl. So the New York Jets are going to look at this the same way. They're going to realize if you can outscore your team, if you can give me a little time, we can still get the ball to our playmakers. So I'm not concerned about it. I think that the Jets got better by adding Dalvin Cook yesterday, and we're going to see this arms race in the AFC is going to be something special.
Why are we even arguing? Of course they got better.
Yeah.
They got a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better.
And by the way, whatever's happening with that line, Aaron Rodgers will invite the blitz and make plays.
Yes.
And then he'll hand it off to Dalvin Cook.
I mean, they now have one of the best 5 quarterbacks in the league.
Defense.
They now have one of the best 5 or 6 running backs in the league. Yeah. They have probably the best young receiver in the league in Garrett Wilson. Yes, they are without a doubt a threat in the AFC right now.
What were we saying this time of year, though, 1 year ago, about the Denver Broncos?
Well, I mean, I do feel like
because here's the thing, boys. I was thinking about this driving into work this morning with the news, of course, that Dalvin Cook last night had signed with the Jets. There are people in New York, and of course I could say this being from that neck of the woods and still keeping in touch with a lot of those folks, that they look at this and they say, what was the blueprint for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2020? They got the quarterback, the veteran quarterback, to pair with an ascending defense, and then wait for it, in late August, they got a former Pro Bowl, well, I guess this guy didn't make a Pro Bowl, but still, a former high highly regarded running back in Leonard Fournette off the street. Then they paired him with another former highly regarded running back, Giovanni Bernard. The Bucs went out and did what the Jets are now trying to replicate. But then there is the antithesis to that, which is what happened to the Denver Broncos a year ago.
Well, you go back to the Bucs and you had the GOAT. That's number one. Then you had a good pass
Is
rush.
Aaron Rodgers not a top 10 quarterback of all time?
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying. You had the GOAT and you had
Yeah.
a killer pass rush and you had 3 really good wide receivers. That was the combo that really led them. Now, Fournette definitely factored in this bad boy, but they also had an established situation. At least Denver did not have an established situation because they had just dropped in a brand new head coach.
Is this an established situation?
Yeah. At least Salah's been there long enough to have established that defense. And look, I was dogging them a year ago offensively, but they now have fixed a lot of things. Garrett Wilson is a superstar in the making, and Matt's been hyping him, all along. He's among the top 10 wide receivers right now, according to a lot of people. And then obviously you get one of the best quarterbacks right now in the game, healthy. And then you add Dalvin Cook, who has been as productive as anybody. You want to compare? Compare Leonard Fournette's numbers to Dalvin Cook and see how much production
and frankly,
he's had.
the difference between the Broncos and the Jets is, as much as I love Russ, and Russ will be a Hall of Famer, the difference between Russ and Aaron Rodgers is a giant chasm.
And take it a step further, we would argue about whether or not Russ Wilson is done or if Aaron Rodgers had a lousy year last year. Aaron Rodgers had a lousy year last year compared to what he had been before that.
The 2 previous years, right, were huge.
But in no way does it compare to what Russ Wilson looked like last year. Okay? In other words, Russ's bad was really bad compared to Aaron Rodgers' dip in performance. So, let's make it the 10-10 take, JJ, because, this is where we are, and I just want to know what Jaguar fans are thinking about this.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since 68.
It doesn't mean just because you go out and sign a bunch of individuals that you're going to have a team. But when we talk about what's going on right now in the offseason, this is just another one that makes you worry and wonder a little bit about the Jags not doing anything. When others are doing something and you're not doing anything, you got to worry a little bit. Now, we all know the biggest move the Jaguars made, if you want to call it a free agent move, was the deal for Calvin Ridley. But we've now seen DeAndre Hopkins added to Tennessee. We've seen now Zeke Elliott and Mike Gesicki, and you can go down the line, added to the New England Patriots. Aaron Rodgers and then some. Now Dalvin Cook. Heck, Jalen Ramsey. We don't even really need to talk about him because he's injured, but Miami took a big swing to get that guy on their football team. So I'm just looking around, and I'm thinking of all the other pass rushers that have signed as well, including Yannick Ngakoue and all the other guys, and everyone is trying to get better. Is this football team getting better? That's the 10-10 take, brought to you by Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue. Look for them all over the First Coast. So are you okay standing pat right now as everyone else is getting better?
Well, we don't have any choice. We've been kicking the can down the street the last couple of months. Right now, we feel comfortable enough with what we have. As far as the arsenal goes offensively, I'm a little bit more comfortable with what we are offensively than we are defensively. I still think that we need to get us a viable pass rusher, but they're all gone. Right now we're entertaining Javion Clowney, all right, who had, he's had 43 sacks in his whole career. He's been up and down his whole career. So, that's the best that you have to offer right now. And could he be viable? Could he be inspired to play a little better and give us a little hope? He could. Well, I believe this coaching staff will. But, his track record says otherwise. He's hurt. He's sometimes uninspired, unmotivated. Do you really want to bring that on this team? I'm not sure if you do.
He doesn't move.
Doesn't move the needle. No, come on now. It doesn't move the needle.
Yeah.
They've had a chance to move the needle for
he's
7
AM
months.
He's AM and I'm trying to be FM.
Right.
We are the torch, 92.5.
We keep saying this, but look, at the end of the day, it's clear they like what they've got.
Yeah.
So we may not agree with it, and it may not have looked good in the first preseason game. And again, it's a dopey preseason game, but still, they believe they've got something.
They believe they've got something for the long term. I want to put an asterisk on this for everyone who is questioning, why are the Jags not throwing money at this guy or spending to even get a value veteran like Justin Houston? Why are they not doing this? I can personally tell you that it is because this front office is already thinking about paying 16 next year, paying Tyson Campbell, paying Andre Sisco, and wait for it, how are they now in a position to pay those guys? Because they drafted and developed them. 6 games into his rookie year, no one could have predicted that Tyson Campbell would be getting a second contract here in Jacksonville. But they developed him. Sure, it was through a varied coaching staff because there were 2 different regimes, but the reality is they developed the kid, and that is what they are counting on. Whether you like it or not, they cannot simply just throw money and add free agents at this juncture. They need to develop guys, homegrown guys, that then they give second contracts to, find ways to create team-friendly avenues of revenue, and then they can go out and sign those big-name free agents once they're in the window.
It's 1 year with Houston, a 1-year deal. Done.
I agree.
Yeah. It's not affecting anything down the road.
And once they got the deal with Ingram, they freed up more money.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah, listen, I don't have any problem with Cisco and Tyson Campbell. I mean, those guys are legit. They need to be paid, absolutely. My concern is at the front. The front end of the defense. They get more productivity out of a guy who's going into the last year of his contract and a guy who's going to be his second year into the system. Those are my only concerns. Everything else, I mean, maybe a linebacker core can cover a little better than they've been covering. Maybe another year in the system, they can get equated into the system and play a lot better. But I'm more concerned about the front end of the defense than I am the back.
The window's open. That's my concern.
Well,
the window is open. Go get somebody to help.
How long is the Jaguars' window going to be open, though, versus the Jets? The Jets are in this 2 year.
I don't know, but I do know this. They close quickly in the NFL. I know that.
And every
you've
single
got a
year,
quarterback now.
Yeah, every single year when you have that guy and you have not, like, he is in his rookie contract. So it's going to be doubly tough once you give him that big deal
to
go
build a
out
roster
and get
around
other
him. Yes.
guys. It is not easy at all. And people are sitting there scratching their head. Zach Martin gets a deal in Dallas, and you're like, wait a minute. I thought they didn't have anything left. They created cash. And, Leon, you know this. It's that upfront money that gets deals done, that makes people happy. And you don't necessarily have to fit into the complete and total salary cap when you're putting that upfront money.
Yeah, cash is king. Yeah. I mean, they gave Zach. They literally gave Zach Martin a little bit more cash, where he came from being the 9th highest paid offensive line to the 3rd.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and they restructured and they gave him more guaranteed money up front to make sure he got back. And he was pivotal to get that guy back in there. I mean, he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, but that guy, when it comes to run blocking and it comes to pass protecting, he's one of the all-time best.
I want to make it clear. Like, I agree. The Jags should have gone out. They should have, seen what the deal was with Justin Houston. They should have asked Frank Clark, maybe had some concessions here and there. Melvin Ingram is still around. We talked about it on yesterday's program.
Broken, I think.
But he had 6 sacks last year.
Yeah.
You'd rather that than the 2 Jadeveon Clowney had, would you not?
Oh, yeah. If I'm doing that versus that, then I would take him. But here's the thing. You can't tell me that even though they've kind of played the part that they're happy with what they've got, you can't tell me that they are 100% happy when they pick up the phone after seeing their team play 60 minutes of ball against the Cowboys. That was when they called.
I'm just here to tell you that I have been told a lot of these moves are because they are thinking
I get that
about
part.
That's you may not agree with it, but that's where they're at. And it's not just simply they believe in their guys. It's we believe in our guys for the here and now. We want to see who develops, who doesn't this year, because we believe the window is going to be open longer than, say, the Jets, who have a 2-year window right now.
I don't doubt that, but it's literally 1 year. It's a 1-year deal. You're not messing with any contract in the future.
Right, and Dalvin Cook, for that matter, is basically the same.
That you could have gotten Ngakoue and you could have gotten Houston. They're 1-year deals. That's it.
Right. And you just give them those incentives, whatever it is, and you just go play. And there will be money available. The cap is going to go up. And so, look, I can play both sides and understand what they're preparing for, but they also need to make sure. The beautiful thing about what the Kansas City Chiefs have been able to do is that every single time they lose something, they develop something. That's good. And if this team can prove under, an Andy Reid disciple with Doug Peterson, is that when they lose something, they develop something instead of running out and signing a guy, I'm good with that. But we haven't seen Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, the combo, just yet make many Jaguar fans feel like they've got that thing handled.
I hate to be the guy that says this, and I was talking with me about this yesterday. I mean, they might have to go DN first 2 picks in the draft next year.
They have nonstop picked DN.
I know, but I mean, Joe, at some point You've got to develop a guy that sticks with you.
Yeah.
And a guy that can play.
Can I throw a fun little hypothetical at you? Let's say it's the trade deadline, and your Jaguars are what, 7-2, 7-3. I'm doing the math in my head of when the trade deadline
it's week
actually
9.
is. Week 9. Okay, so 7-2, 6-3, and let's say
They have what, 9 sacks?
yes,
All right.
but they've won 7-6 games. They're in the driver's seat in the division.
They've outscored
but
everybody,
their
basically.
focus is the Chiefs because they lost to the Chiefs. Let's say, heaven forbid, week 2, and they're already thinking about the postseason. And let's say that a team that made the postseason a year ago, but they were in 11 one-score games that went their way. I am referring to the Minnesota Vikings. And let's say, as much as they signed a certain edge rusher to a one-year extension after he was considered to be on the trade market this offseason, they say, hey, we're going to lose the second-round pick next year because of Calvin Ridley because we are going to sign him long-term because he's been great. Do they flip that one for a Donnell Hunter? Do they flip that one at the trade deadline for another elite pass rusher? I don't know. If we're in the world of hypotheticals, let's say that the Rams start 1-7 and Aaron Donald is available.
I feel like.
Do you flip it at the trade deadline, or do you stick with this premise that we're talking about, that you're developing guys?
I'm going to pair up.
And that you've won 6-7 games and you're in the driver's seat and everything's fine.
But pair up your hypothetical with also Matt's hypothetical. They're not getting home. They're not getting it done. Well, then, I do think that they'll. I love a team that is willing to believe that they're in the long haul, which is what Doug Peterson did a year ago. I mean, this was not a good situation week 9 last year. All you got to do is go back and look at the record, but they were 2-7, I'm pretty sure. And so at that point, 2-7, you're like, do we need to take a big old swing? Well, this is a different football team. And so if they're 7-2 or wherever they're at, 6-3 at that point, then maybe they do take a good hard look at somebody that they can either get on loan or maybe pay one.
The money's got to be right. It's got to be like a quick loan. That's it.
Yes, but it might be a year-and-a-half deal, something like that, as opposed to just you get him for the next 9 games.
For the reasons Mia was saying earlier, they got other guys to pay. If you can get somebody on a quick little end of last 9 games of the season, and you got to pay him X amount, and that's it. If it's worth it and he can help you, yes.
So is that why you keep this $15 million in cap space?
Maybe,
yeah. If it's Aaron Donald, you could book us to Vegas.
But I'll say the.
I had to throw that one out there just because we're in the world of hypotheticals.
Yeah, because honestly, if they do start to just completely fade, and heck, you go Vita Vea down to Tampa if Tampa tanks, whatever. But
I don't want Vita Vea. They need an edge guy.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was
going to say. You wouldn't take Vita Vea?
No, they need an edge guy.
I don't know. He's a beast, bro.
And by the way, the only reason I love, you guys know how I feel about the middle.
I think he's a great player, but
they
need an edge.
But it's got, in other words, if Devon Hamilton is now starting to be, that guy that you want him to be, and in healthy Foley Fatukasi is that guy you want him to be. Double RH is definitely making an impact. Then you go back to what you just said. You better go find that
don't you think interior
guy.
They're all right? I think they're all right.
Yeah, they're all right. But listen, if you got a good rotation with those guys in the middle and Vita Vea in there, and you can rotate those guys, it's going to help the edge. You're talking about collapsing the pocket.
Yeah.
Instead of you having to go 7 yards to get to the quarterback, now you go 5.
Yeah, he's unreal.
You still got to get home on the edge.
Well, listen.
You got Vita Vea in there.
I tell you what, if you got Vita Vea in there and pushing the pile, you can't get to the quarterback then. You never want to see the quarterback.
Right. Well, but at the end of the day, guess what? The guys you're talking about aren't getting you the quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. And look, we're kind of in dreamscape right now because we can name the big names and none of them are here. And they
I don't think
on,
the Donnell Hunter Viking situation is all that not real, by the way.
Yeah.
That was just a 1-year extension they signed him to?
1 year, and they cannot tag him. He wants to test the waters of free agency next year. Which, because everyone was questioning if the Jags were trying to get a trade together for him this offseason. I think for them, there's also, to this discussion we're having, there's a point of, let's see what Josh Allen and Trayvon do this year, and if it is only 9 sacks between the two of them, then we have to use this money that rolled over and throw it at a guy like him because you can't bank on, I'm just going to draft a kid 22nd, and he's going to become my number one.
You're moving on past Josh Allen.
Right, and then you're going to have to throw your money at somebody else.
Yeah, so that'll happen. But, I like the fact that they were in with Donnell Hunter, that they at least made a play, okay? And so now, this goes back. Do they really believe in what they got, or are they hoping for what they got?
Right. Let's say they get him, and he has, 8.5 sacks to end the season.
Mm-hmm.
You say bye to Josh Allen,
And
you
then
sign
he
him long
gets,
term.
and then he gets a little bit of money.
Right.
He gets a 2-year deal
Right.
or whatever it is.
Right.
All right, you guys jump in on that. 641-1010. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures because I like what I see, but I also want to see both sides of the ball, knowing that they can get into. This is going to be a track meet in the AFC, people. This is a track meet, and look, we didn't even really mention Jawan Taylor. The Chiefs spent a bunch of money on him. I'm not necessarily.
As Leon said, he's still.
By the way, he's still jumping on sides.
Exactly. And I'm not necessarily of the opinion that was a smart move on their part, but they did spend that money, and you can go through the other ones. Geno Smith gets a big deal. Lamar gets a big deal. Is it going to work out? I don't know. But everyone's trying to make sure that they, lock those guys up. And that is next year's offseason with this team, locking up their quarterback and making sure they got enough money to do it.
Everybody's on the Ravens, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick before you go to break.
Yeah.
We can talk about this later. Everybody's on the Ravens right now. And I don't know why.
It's because of OBJ, too. They added
I
him.
know.
And
But
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers.
Everybody's big on the Ravens right now.
They
man.
love what they see from the rookie first rounder. So that's just the thing, is that as good as this team is looking, there's just so many other ones that are trying to do the exact same thing. You start running down the line of AFC teams, and we'll go through it. A lot of people are putting Jacksonville in the top 5 in the AFC to unseat the Chiefs. But you definitely got to have it right on the defensive side of the ball, too. All right, Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, they bring you today's show. You can find them online and on the lot. Beaver Chevrolet right there on Phillips Highway, just killing it with deals. Nearly 400 brand new and pre-owned sold in the month of July. They're just keeping it going. They're making sure that they give you the deal that you want. Beaver Toyota St. Augustine, new digs planned right there along the interstate off 207. You can find them right now in the AUG on US 1. Check them out also at beavertoyotastaugustine.com. So react to that. You can hit us on YouTube. Got the 1010XL set up. JJ, tell them to go there and hang out.
This is the Yahoo pop-off chat line. Yahoo!
So jump in on that, and let's jump in now on this FSU discussion. Will anything happen today as they have the potential to say, hey, we are out. We are leaving the ACC. We'll tell you what we're talking about coming up next.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Jacksonville's other sports team. 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Lauren Brooks here. Tired of joint pain holding you back? Try BioTarget from Injury Care Centers. This treatment will prolong the life of your joints by targeting the root of your pain and delivering more regenerative cells to the affected area, ensuring faster and more effective healing, making BioTarget the most advanced regenerative treatment. For a limited time, BioTarget starts as low as $499. Call Injury Care Centers or visit GoBioTarget.com. That's GoBioTarget.com.
The Internal Revenue Service is reported to be receiving $80 billion in additional funding for the 2022 tax year for unpaid tax enforcement. There has never been a budget increase this large in the history of the IRS. All of this funding is for more revenue officers and collecting delinquent taxes. If you owe the IRS, you have a short time to get your tax issues resolved or face financial devastation. J. David Tax Law is right here in Jacksonville, provides tax relief for all personal payroll and sales tax problems. They've achieved thousands of successful outcomes for their clients, and that's why their reputation speaks for itself. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, do your research to see why J. David Tax Law is the most effective option to relieve your tax burden. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com.
This month, the Key Buick GMC receives special financing on GMC's rates as low as 0.9% for 36 months or 2.9% for 60 months and 4.9% for 72 months. Right now, save up to $10,000 on select new GMCs and no payments for 90 days. As always, a Key Buick GMC, whenever you buy a new vehicle, it always comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty. We are professional grade. Key Buick GMC, corner of South Side and Gate.
Universal Roof and Contracting is redefining roof replacement. You can protect your home and increase your curb appeal. Whether your roof has suffered storm damage or just worn out over time, they offer a broad array of roof materials, including metal, tile, or architectural shingles to suit your specific needs. They're the right choice for all your roofing needs. So visit universalroof.com to set up a complimentary roof inspection. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us. But for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks. What I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners. Always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Every championship season starts with training camp. From the practice field straight to you, nobody covers camp like 1010XL. Training camp coverage is brought to you by Roland Leash Plumbing and Kingfish Pest Control.
You want to know how to get more RV for your money? Easy. You go to General RV during the big summer blowout, August 16th through the 20th. We've got big blowout prices on travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and more. There are new models already coming in, so everything is priced to move. And this is how to save thousands. You want to make your money go farther on a new RV? Head to General RV now. In Orange Park on Wells Road off 295.
Feeling hot and bothered? Don't quack up. Call Duck Duck Air Conditioning at 904-862-6769. Our licensed and experienced technicians will make your home or office a cool and comfortable oasis.
Duck Duck Air Conditioning, keeping you cool and quacking all summer long.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and Twitter to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community-owned utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
Exciting news from Woody's Barbecue. Backed by overwhelming demand, Woody's presents their all-you-can-eat chicken special every Sunday with all the trimmings, just $12.49.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. These intense summer storms are a good reminder to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Check out Pella's new Hurricane Shield and Defender series. These amazing windows exceed all coastal requirements for storm protection. Seriously, they can withstand the impact of a 2x4 shot out of a cannon at 50 feet per second. You want quality style and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway right next to Tesla. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
I'm Dr. Mitchell Yass, the most unknown world-renowned expert on pain elimination. That's right, elimination. If you've tried medications, injections, physical therapy, chiropractic, even surgery, and still experience pain, then say yes to Yass. I have successfully used the Yass method for over 30 years to help thousands reclaim their lives. To learn more, call me at 904-906-YASS. Let's end your pain and say yes to Yass.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars now know their Week 1 opponent at quarterback. Colts head coach Shane Steichen announced this morning that Anthony Richardson will start Week 1 against the Jaguars. The former Florida Gators quarterback was the 4th overall pick in April's NFL Draft. Richardson earned the Colts starting job over former Jaguars quarterback Gardner Minshew. AR completed 7 of 12 passes for 67 yards and an interception in preseason Game 1 against the Bills. It will be Anthony Richardson against Trevor Lawrence, Week 1 in Indianapolis. Kickoff is Sunday, September 10th at 1 o'clock, right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron?
What's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Did you hear? LeBron's going to Florida State. That's the big announcement, Leon. It's decision day in Tally, and that was the decision.
Well, JJ, you got to give me a preemptive warning when you're going to play.
Just for PTSD purposes.
You know what I'm saying?
I should have warned you.
Yeah, but please warn me. I mean, this scarred my adolescence.
Yeah, so apparently, according to Matt, this is sort of like a decision day for Florida State in the ACC. I was unaware of this.
They have to give the ACC notice before they to play in another conference in 2024. They have to give the ACC notice by August 15 that they're going to do so. Today, of course, is August 15. So if they're going to play in another conference, if they're going to leave the conference, if they're going to break the unbreakable grant of rights, and again, I don't know where they're going, but if they are, it has to be done today. They've got 11 hours and 26 minutes to make it happen.
And as of this writing at 12:34 Eastern Time, no rumblings of Florida State leaving the ACC in 2024. But, hey, we've reached out to a couple of our boys on the ground in Tally, Irish Affel and company, so we're going to keep tabs. We will let you know if it truly is decision day in Tallahassee. A lot of you Knowles, by the way, on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. This is from Miss O on the west side. $200 on the Knowles to win the Natty. That pays $3,600. Vegas sees FSU making the playoff and losing to Georgia or Michigan. Plus $1,800 right now to win the Natty, plus $300 to make the playoffs.
Well, Matt,
I feel bad. I feel bad for that team, honestly.
I mean, Matt,
because let's just say,
go ahead.
Let's just say, like LSU wins that first game. I mean, imagine the beating that team's going to take. About maybe you should have been focusing more about playing football, or imagine them losing to Wake Forest again, and then imagine the beating they're going to take on social media. About
you can't even hang in the
Maybe
ACC.
you should just worry about playing football instead of worrying about trying to get out of your league. I mean, I mean, honestly, they have a really good team this year.
Yeah.
Why would you do all this nonsense to distract from what you have this year?
And I wonder a little bit because the president, remember, if we go back, rewind 2 or 3 weeks ago when you gave us that deadline, and he said that the least of our worries is the grant of rights, which was kind of laughable at the time. And then we really have heard nothing, gone ghostly quiet. I'm at practice with the Knowles on Thursday, and we asked the question to Mike Norvell. You might even have a little bit of it, JJ, but he just kind of stammered through the thing, like we love the ACC and this and that. And what else can they say? Because they're right now trying to put a face on it.
That's what I was going to say. Is it really a distraction for the players and the coaches?
No, because I guarantee you,
I don't think
just wants to practice. That's all he wants. He doesn't. They have nothing to do with this.
I don't think it is. But if you get to the point where you lose a game, or you lose a game you should win, then it will become a distraction because there'll be so much nonsense going at those guys on social media, and they all read social media because it's who they are. So yes, then it will become a distraction.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that what you say is true, that this is a good football team, and they're going to figure something out. But right now, this is the classic, I have hitched my wagon to a loser. And you find yourself in this situation where you thought that, okay, look, we've been in the ACC for decades now, and the ACC has produced national champions. And so this conference is as viable as all the others. They launched the ACC network. How far back are we going? 3 years ago? Something like that?
No, it was longer than that. It was
longer than that?
It was 2016, I think.
So they launch it thinking that they're – and by the way, it didn't even get launched on cable.
I was about to say, it wasn't even on Xfinity.
Yeah, it got launched digitally in the very beginning. And so they were expecting that they were going to make money that kind of rivaled the Big Ten because the SEC had their behemoth, and it was out there. Big Ten behemoth, it was out there. ACC can't do it because their geographic footprint, even if you want to throw Boston College and the Qs up there and go down to Miami, their geographic footprint is in the Mid-Atlantic. That is who they are at the core, and they just haven't generated enough dollars. They haven't.
Well, they're not that good of a football conference. They've got like 3 or 4 really good teams.
Yeah.
Or really good brands. A couple of the teams have struggled. of late, and it's difficult to push that kind of thing when you've got two mega brands, mega properties like Miami and Florida State that aren't playing like they did in the 90s or in the early 2000s, or even the last time with Florida State in 2013. That's difficult to sell that. So it's at the end of the day, it's about who you are and how you play and what you're doing. And you're right about football. Football is without a doubt driving this. There's no doubt about it. So if you're Florida State and you're Miami and football is driving this, suddenly you're not the Florida State and Miami that you think you are, at least in the eyes of the people that are making these decisions.
Yeah.
That's why you got to win on the field.
I was just thinking that. Florida State and Miami have been underwhelming over the last decade and a half or 2 decades. At one particular time, they were Titans, and they're no longer Titans anymore. And TV eyeballs are not watching their games because most of the time they're insignificant, whoever they're playing, even when they play each other.
And this isn't a Florida State thing. If the tables were turned and Florida was in the ACC, they'd be in the same situation.
Yeah.
Because they're not winning. They're not winning. They're not in an elite program right now. It goes quick.
Yeah, it does. And by the way, they dominated it for such a long time. They ran it. Both universities ran it for a long time. And now the thing that probably drives Noles fans crazy is that the ACC, for my money, and you know what I've been calling it, you call it the Clemson Invitational, I call it a crap conference, because it has been as gettable as ever, and they still couldn't get it. They still couldn't get it. When's the last time Florida State has won an ACC championship?
2013, 2014?
Yeah, go back a decade now.
Jameis.
Okay, and by the way, they had it rolling at that point, 29 in a row before they lost to Oregon in the semifinal. They had it rolling.
29 in a row, man.
Yeah. It's just
that's real. That's real deal.
Yes. And by the way, I'm pretty sure they had 29 in a row and 29 players drafted.
Yeah, remember that
like
graphic
a 3 or 4 year
from
period.
the 2013 championship game? Every starter was on an NFL team.
Yeah, and that was we're talking
was on an NFL roster in one.
Was Jimbo at his height?
Yeah,
and the average recruiting ranking that they were in was like 4.1 or 3 point something. I mean, they were dominating.
629 is a Knoll on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, and is just wondering, what would it cost to get Leon Searcy to do the tomahawk chop on YouTube? Which, of course, you can watch us on YouTube live every single day on XL Primetime and all of your 1010XL channels. And, of course, you can chime in using the JJ.
This is the Yahoo pop-off chat line. Yahoo!
Don't you usually reserve those things, Leon, for like the J Fund when we're raising dollars?
What's that?
When you're committing to doing something like that.
First of all, you would have to.
When you're sinning.
First of all, you would have to take off my right. Or I would never do tomahawk chop. Hell, y'all made me do the gator chomp.
Yes. And I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. I mean,
Just call it the Braves chop.
Yeah. A little bit of a diehard Gator.
Which, by the way, JJ came in and just started to throw some salt on the wound.
Yeah, the Yankees
I
team
gave up
who
on
hasn't
the
won a World
Yankees.
Series in over 10 years just continues to get plastered by Major League ball clubs.
We're waiting until 2 o'clock when Coach Campo joins us. That's when we can talk about the Yankees because he's the only Yankee fan still watching Yankee games. So as far as watching the tomahawk chop last night, was that Yankee Stadium?
No,
was
it was
in the
in
Bronx?
Atlanta.
It was in Atlanta? Okay, yeah. As far as watching the chop goes, didn't. Not planning on it.
Yeah, Braves looking good right now, that's for sure. You know, I need to keep my eye on baseball a little bit, so we'll definitely throw a couple of them to look at. But let's shift gears here. Let's get to Anthony Richardson named the starting quarterback up in Indianapolis. And I'm not even going to say this is premature, Leon, or unexpected, but Jim Irsay has said it over and over and over. He needs to play, and basically they're saying that's the guy that Jacksonville, that all of Duval will be watching in a Colts uniform September 10th.
Oh, well, I think it's a little early, like you just said, maybe a little premature. I mean, you still got 3.5 weeks left of football, training camp, preseason, before you even get to the regular season. And, I mean, when a decision like this is made, oftentimes you wonder if it's the coach, the coordinator, or is it something that was made in the front office? I mean, the one thing I could tell you about being in locker rooms and being on the practice field, I mean, you can determine whether by how a guy works if a job has been given or has been earned. And you know, in that locker room, I'm not saying there's going to be any dissension, but there's a lot of veteran. I'm sure there's a veteran-laced locker room, and they've seen them at OTA, seen them at minicamp, they've seen them at training camp, and I Here's the thing. There's a lot of positions going on right now in Indianapolis, I'm pretty sure, that have not been predetermined.
Mm-hmm.
Why was this one made so fast?
Right.
Because they haven't even made cuts. He's not going to get cut, but I'm just saying. You wonder how is Gardner play? How does Gardner feel about this situation? That this job's just been, it has been given or earned by him in such an early time.
By the way, G went out and went 6 for 6.
Exactly.
In that game.
Listen, we're speculating because we're not there. Maybe he's done enough to prove to the coaching staff and the coordinators that he's the starting quarterback. So all we can do is make assumptions, but right now he's a starting quarterback moving forward.
Now, Andrew Luck started all 16 games of his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Manning also thrust into the fire early.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 overall pick. Generational quote-unquote talent.
Mm-hmm.
Akin to Trevor Lawrence. Anthony Richardson's not really in that category, and that's to no fault of his own, and it's not to say that he couldn't start and have success right away, because he certainly could. But for me, the reality is that this is a guy who we go back to how many starts did he have at the college level?
Yeah,
those other two guys, Peyton and Andrew Luck, 4-year college players.
Exactly. And the historic note, is that he joins only one other guy to be a first-round draft pick at quarterback with the fewest number of starts, 13 starts, and it's Mitch Trubisky. And so how did it go for Mitch Trubisky? And think of Trubisky's skill set. What was it? It was a guy that could move and motor, improvise, had athleticism, and then also had, this nice arm. Well, he struggled reading defenses, and so it ended up catching up with him. We all know that. But this is the worry. And we're going to talk to Denny tomorrow. Quarterback whisperer. We're going to get with him. I think he's traveling. I think he said he's up in Cincy. But we're at least going to get with him and just kind of get an idea of what is being said. Today's world, we all know this. You draft him high, you're going to play him right away.
You almost have to.
Yeah.
I mean, the Colts they might prefer to play with Minshew because at least the first couple games, just to get Anthony to be able to see things from a different angle, not on the field while he's getting crushed. But you almost have to right now. And look, for every mistake he makes, it's the same thing that happened in Florida. For every mistake he makes, you're like, whoa, look at that. It's this, the Alex Pierce throw.
Wild plays on the other side,
Pierce
too.
throw. Alex Pierce should have caught that ball. Would have been a great highlight play, a wow play.
Yeah. That was a touchdown.
So for every one of those, what are you doing making that throw, the pick, you get one of those. So you got to deal with it. I mean, until he becomes a more consistent player, which is what Florida was looking for 3 years, until he becomes that more consistent player where it's, it's like road for him, you're not going to see it. You're going to have problems. You will have, for the most part, more losses than you have wins.
But you take your lumps, which I see some of you on the text line are sounding off about. You take your lumps, the growing pains, and then the hope is that by thrusting him in and making him learn trial by fire, that he will be better for it. My concern also is that Anthony Richardson has a history of injuries, soft tissue injuries. I mean,
the hamstring haunted him, that's for sure.
I'm not going to doubt the Colts and the NFL medical staff because I'm sure they're doing everything possible to keep him healthy. And I know Anthony's doing everything he can do to stay healthy and be ready for this moment. But, I wonder what it's going to be like. And again, it'll be very, very illuminating to talk to Denny tomorrow because I'm curious what he thinks. Because he went on the drill, did he not? And said that he thought Gardner should start initially so that Anthony could learn from a guy who he has trained with in the offseason.
Yeah, it makes more sense, and that's what I thought all offseason. And then you heard what Irsay had to say, and you couldn't help but change your mind. And I would have had him sit for the first month, but at the same time, they're like, you know what? We got to get this guy seasoned as quickly as we possibly can.
What do you have to lose?
You also, here's what I was just going to say, JJ.
Confidence.
You have to hope he's mentally strong enough to
do
it.
But, I mean, if he comes in week 4 and he sucks, I mean, that's going to hurt his confidence too.
Right. It won't change anything in that respect.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of, can you protect yourself? Are you ready to go? But in an RPO world, he will generate plays. There is no question about it. He will generate offense. And so I thought Gardner first, and then I'm like, okay, once Irsay said it, that's it. Go, and figure out what you got. Because Shane Steichen, every single time he goes out and plays, and they're going to be 0-1 after Duval takes care of them, but they're going to punch that tape in and go, Did that wrong, did that wrong, did that well, did that well. Let's work on let's focus on that and let's eliminate that. That's all they can do.
I just got PTSD, by the way, from Joe all off season long a couple years ago saying the Jags were going to be 1-0 and beat Houston.
I shouldn't be making all these proclamations.
Yeah, let's chill.
Listen, it's a much better football team this year.
Absolutely.
And for what it's worth, 722 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. One of our Georgia boys brings up a great point, which is, yes, Trevor Lawrence did throw an interception in the preseason on the second play of the game on Saturday. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence also had an up and down first half of his second year, his first true year, if you don't want to count the Urban year.
Yeah.
But guess what? He had to take his lumps, and so there is certainly a prevailing thought as well that this will be similar, that you have to ride the wave, because all of us saw Trevor throw the pick and we went, it's Trevor. He'll come back and throw 4 touchdowns because he's proven it. Because he did it in college and he did it in the NFL. We haven't seen it from Anthony Richardson.
You know what I saw that I liked out of that play is the rollout. Okay, Trevor is going to be on the run, making plays, daring defenses to come get him, and then he's just going to flick it right over the top. And so these motion plays that he's going to run, moving pocket or just a bootleg and a throw, however you want to describe it, this is another little element that Press Taylor's bringing into T-Law's world, and that I love.
What does that even mean? Trevor threw a pick, but his interception's okay, and AR isn't ready. AR wasn't ready last year in college.
Right. And T-Law was
now he's
an
in the
accomplished
NFL.
guy from the jump.
He's like Peyton.
I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. From the
AR
jump.
was a guy who needed a lot of work last year in college.
Mm-hmm.
In college.
Yeah.
Now he's in the NFL. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't see that, if you cannot see that this kid needs, I'm not saying he doesn't have a lot of talent. He does have a lot of talent.
Right.
He needs work.
He was 7 of 12 for 72 yards, no touchdowns. Could have been the score, that one score, and then he threw the pick. So you'll see him again before they get ready. They'll put him in bubble wrap after this weekend, I would think. He won't play in that last game. It'll be probably G and company in that last game. But then I can't wait. Because this defense and this pass pressure that we're talking about, it better be there to make him make quick decisions, to make sure that defense has a chance to be a part of that season opening.
And if not?
Well, then he'll take off and he'll wiggle and waggle and he'll frustrate the hell out of them. I mean, that's what'll happen. But they
still
better
guaranteeing that win in week 1?
Yes. They better account for him because I look at it. They got okay wide receivers. They definitely have a couple of guys that can make big plays for them. And Jonathan Taylor's just now coming back, just now saying, "Hey, I had to go out of Indy to get my ankle worked on and maybe kind of get my pride restored because Irsay's not going to deal me, not going to give me a new deal." That's a little bit of a dysfunctional bunch right now. And I'm hoping they go up there and paddle them.
So carpooled with our girl Taylor Dahl to work today. Don't worry, she's good. Her car just had some issues.
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me about a YouTube series where they did 2 videos about Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring this back to Anthony Richardson, I promise. And for Justin Fields, it was overreaction to if Justin Fields is a bust if he struggles week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's another video, and it's overreaction to is Justin Fields the MVP if he goes off in week 1. I bring that up because not the same player, but a similar skill set with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, but
see? I mean, look at the Utah game last year. Everyone was crowning him as the Heisman winner 1 week into the season.
Are you guys really talking about Justin Fields on the drive into work?
Yeah.
But
It's
Taylor.
Yeah,
It's Taylor. It was Taylor.
Come on. But I will go right back to where we keep going back. Justin Fields was an accomplished college quarterback.
Correct.
And every one of these guys had so much more seasoning in them coming into the league.
That's the point that everybody is missing. The fact that they're trying to assess Trevor Lawrence and Anthony Richardson.
It's laughable.
It's laughable. Trevor Lawrence was polished 3 years in the league. 3 years playing college football, played in the national championship game.
One played in the SEC, though.
Yeah.
One played in the ACC.
Got to remember that.
I mean, it just means more.
Yeah, it means more,
It
guess.
does.
Yeah.
I mean, so does the national championship.
Exactly. And the playoffs.
And the 2 other playoffs.
I think
Yeah,
AR
that
was
part.
chanting
Matt
SEC
lost the
at the end of that
national
bowl game. Yeah,
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
I mean, AR did lead him come from behind winning at South Florida last year, so you got to give him that.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to pile on. I'm watching.
I'm kidding, Danny. I think he played really well against Texas A&M.
And
he played well against LSU.
Yeah.
He played well against Tennessee.
I'm a doubter. Danny knows it as well as
when he was allowed to run, he looked good. And
Yeah.
so that's where the question will be, what is the plan in Indy for him?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have Jonathan Taylor, I mean, didn't their other backup running back broke his ankle, didn't he?
Yes.
So, I mean, that is where I look at this if we want to really get into the weeds. And I have some questions because if you're already down Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss has got the broken ankle.
Mm-hmm.
So you're down to your third string guy, Deion Jackson, who actually did look pretty good against the Jags in Indy last year. Then you got a rookie in Evan Hall. Are you going to feel confident in running AR off the jump? I don't think they will.
Yeah, I think they're going to be some design
And so if you
plays.
limit him, and
I don't
if
think you
you
got a
limit,
choice.
if you limit him, what have we heard from the AR camp? If you limit him, like Billy Napier may have at times last year, if you restrict that part of his game, then yes, you may not find the success you were hoping for.
Yeah, there's no limiting him now.
He's going
in the
against
national.
us.
No, man, no. You're paying him now.
Yeah,
Go.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're doing
against us,
everything.
he's going to probably run the ball at least
And
15 times.
The only way, I believe, we'll get Coach Campos' thoughts on this later on because he always says those guys that can move stress the heck out of a DC. But the only way that passing game is going to open up for him is when he is willing to run. And if he's a willing runner, they commit, they come to him. It's like I'm talking about with Trevor, with this rollout, game action that he'll have. You make those defenders come to you, and then you flip it over the top of them. Then you got something. Jalen Hurts developed that part of his game, too, because he was the ability to run, the ability to draw defenders to him and then make plays over the top. That's why A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and all these guys thrived in that offense.
But to be fair, I mean, if you're the Jags in that game, and I am just literally blitzing him off the bus.
Got to make him make a quick decision.
The bus.
Yeah.
Just getting after him.
Yeah, got to make him make a quick decision. That's for sure.
We did have one texter who wants to know if AR will have better stats than Tim Tebow in the National Football League. I think he may have better receiving stats if they get a little tricky up there in Indy. I'm not. Maybe he could be a tight end at some point. 20 years down the line after he's had a great career, and
it's a different. And the one good thing about AR versus Timmy is it is a different offense in today's NFL. It really is. The play calling, the style of it, everything is much different. That's for sure.
Will AR succeed? Is he the right pick for those Colts who the Jaguars will face week 1? And God, now we're under T-minus 30 days, boys, which is crazy to think, but the countdown, it continues. We'll get back to your Jags coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. I went one-on-one with rookie defensive back Christian Braswell, so you will hear from him. I also want to make a note to the topic we led the show with, which is those New York Football Jets. That offensive line shuffle, Leon, it keeps going. They got more guys moving around different spots. I mentioned about Elijah Vera-Tucker. Now he's apparently going to move to right tackle. Joe Tippmann, the rookie out of Wisconsin, apparently now he could potentially become the center. When Dwayne Brown comes back, he could be the left tackle over Mekhi Becton. So I'm not sure it's all rainbows and unicorns for Aaron Rodgers up there in the Big Apple. It's XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Trevor drops, fires to the back of the end zone. The ball's caught for the touchdown. Christian Kirk in Jacksonville strikes first.
I stress all the time, don't chase plays, just make them when they come to you. What you saw from our young guys is they executed the offense or defense and made a play.
Next up, Detroit, Saturday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars, 1010XL.
Hey Jacksonville, this is 17-time PGA Tour winner Jim Furyk inviting you to join me and the legends of the PGA Tour for the 3rd annual Constellation Furyk and Friends presented by Circle K, October 2 through 8 at Timaquana Country Club. Public parking is free, along with complimentary tournament access for our military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Go to Ticketmaster to get your tickets today, and if you're not traveling to London to watch the Jags this fall, join us Sunday morning in the Publix Tailgate Village to catch the game on the big screen. For more information, visit ConstellationFurykandFriends.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. It's getting hotter day after day after day. When you need your cooling system repaired, you can count on Fenwick Home Services experts. They repair your system the same day or you don't pay. Plus, Fenwick offers zero-fee, 24-hour, 7-day-a-week emergency services. And remember, all of Fenwick's repair services come with their worry-free guarantee. Book online in under a minute at FenwickEasyBook.com. That's FenwickEasyBook.com.
Denny Thompson here. Are you a home builder looking for a reliable low-voltage partner? Look no further than Tyson Sound and Security. They've been working hard with large and small builders for 15 years. Here's why they are the top choice. They will enhance your home buyer's home experience by offering custom home design appointments, and your budget stays intact while they deliver top quality services. Builders, send your plans over today to bid. Tyson Sound and Security, security and home automation experts.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Business owners know Andy's Automotive and Truck Services. For routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs, Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize downtime and keep your fleet on the road. Visit andysats.com.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty, a proud partner of the Jaguars. Brackish Vodka is now available at Golden Liquor on Kernan. Go pick up a bottle today and live life slightly salty.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sports injuries are a common issue for both adults and children. Dr. George Barry here, and as a specialist in orthopedic care, the team at Barry Orthopedics and Sports Medicine here in Jacksonville provides comprehensive diagnosis and treatment of all types of sports injuries. With additional training in sports medicine and more than 30 years of experience, the team is available to care for your entire family and help you have fun and stay active. Visit us today at barryorthopedics.com.
And don't forget to check out Breaking Bones Sunday morning, 7:30 on 1010XL.
What is the world's largest cruise ship?
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to ask your agent about your homeowner's coverage. It's time to make the change to Southern Oak Insurance.
Our family protecting yours, Southern Oak Insurance.
With a capacity of 7,000 guests and over 1,200 feet long, Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas is currently the world's largest cruise ship.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. Congratulations to the Jacksonville Sharks, your 2023 National Arena League champions. Sharks head coach Jason Gibson, a guest of the drill.
From a fan base, I got to tell you, that crowd Saturday night, you talk about electric, it was loud, it was insane. It definitely changed the game. We play that game on the road, we lose, but we played it here. We're at the best franchise in the country.
Jacksonville Sharks head coach Jason Gibson, a guest of the drill. The Sharks captured their third title on Saturday night with a 54-45 victory over the Carolina Cobras. News out of Indianapolis this morning. The Colts have named former Gators quarterback Anthony Richardson as the starting quarterback for Week 1. It's 91 degrees at 12 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Rocking along 1 o'clock hours here. Tuesdays brought to you by Beaver Chevy and Beaver Toyota. Joe C., me O'Brien, Matty Hayes, Big Surse, and JJ, the married man. We're all here hanging out on a Tuesday. You can check us out on YouTube. Just search 1010XL. Hang with us there or hit us on the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. We've been talking Jag Ball. We've been talking the AFC as a whole and the NFL as a whole because I think it's big news. When Dalvin Cook signs with the New York Football Jets, it's just one more guy that made them better. And the question is simple. Did your team get better? And, look, you can't run out and sign a bunch of guys every single time someone else signs a guy, but do you have a complete football team? And I think that's what we're talking about. That's what we're going to see when they take on the Lions, be it in joint practices, be it once they play Saturday afternoon. But as we set up our 1 o'clock hour, we'll definitely get into some other storylines outside of your Jags and then also in the college football world. But is your team good enough to go toe-to-toe? And I think the one thing I have learned, Leon, with all these signings that have taken place over, say, the last 3 weeks, if you add them up, Justin Houston and Yannick Ngakoue, Dalvin, all these guys, Zeke, is that the offseason ain't over until you kick it off. I mean, there are teams just constantly looking and searching to get better.
Yeah, well, listen, if you're a veteran, you've been in this league long enough, you know that the preseason is probably your preemptive strike to get on a team to get the dollar amount that you're asking for. Where you got to know when to strike the iron because, they got to go through they got 2 weeks left of preseason football, then 2 more weeks before the season starts. So, I mean, it gives you a good month or close to a month to where you can get on a team, and there's still some viable options out there. But now, I mean, the wallets are closing now. I mean, because a lot of these teams, they've already invested their money in going into the season, and they're focused on the season. So, I mean, but the Jaguars, you asked, are the Jaguars good enough with the roster they have currently to take the AFC? I think offensively, yeah. I think that we're going to score a lot of points. I think we're going to be. I think ATN is going to have a successful season as far as yards per line of scrimmage. I think Trevor's going to have outstanding. I think we're going to put up a lot of points. I think we're going to give up a lot of points. I think that we're going to be. Let me backtrack that. I think that we're going to give up points more than we need necessary defensively. But I think that we're going to score a lot of points offensively. I think that makes us one. We're going to be one of. I think we're going to be one of the elite teams in the AFC that has an opportunity to be either a 1, 2, or 3 seed moving forward.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you need. And they start I'm trying to think of who did it, but anyway, they're handicapping the teams that they think can unseat the Chiefs. And at the top 5, Jacksonville was in there. They were ranked 4th, and I want to say the Bills and the Bengals were the ones in front of them. And then this was kind of obvious because this was on ESPN on Greeny's show. They went with the Jets. But you can't help but look at it. Did Jacksonville take a step back in being the team closest to unseating the Chiefs with the Dalvin Cook signing to the Jets? I mean, it's a fair question.
I don't know, but you also could say, did they take a step closer with the addition of Calvin Ridley?
Sure. Yes.
There are people who thought that the Jets trading for James Robinson would make them better, and then suddenly he's a healthy scratch the last 6-7 games of the year.
Right. But you know how good Dalvin
to be fair,
Cook is.
Huge difference between
right.
Dalvin Cook
Right.
and
No, there
James
definitely is. But, that's, I mean, buyer's remorse. Like I've seen it before with the Jets.
Yeah, but now they got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's the only reason why this optimism is through the roof.
Right.
Then they got the Rookie of the Year offensively in Garrett Wilson, Rookie of the Year defensively in Sauce Gardner.
Right.
And then they go and they re-sign their guys down low. They get those new deals done. You start taking a look at everything that they've got. They got.
Well,
Yeah.
They got.
They do got.
Well, here's the reason why the Jets scare me a little bit, because I think you take the Tom Brady Cliff Notes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, okay. Aaron Rodgers is now making New York a preemptive destination for free agents.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so free agents want to come and experience. I mean, because they no longer Aaron Rodgers they're not the same old Jets anymore. Aaron Rodgers has put a pretty bow on the Jets, what they used to be, and they were talking about this earlier this morning. Giving up money, making it enticing, and giving guys, free agents, an opportunity. Hey, if you come here, you got a shot to win the championship.
Right.
Sounds a lot like what Tom Brady did when he was with Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Give up money, want free agents to come and play ball with him, and then had success while he was there. So, I mean, still the verdict is still out on the Jets, but I'm just saying it's looking a lot like what Tom Brady did in Tampa.
And remember in Tampa Town, he convinced them to try and run it back. So a lot of guys, even though it didn't work, they made it to the postseason, but it didn't work. A lot of those guys were saying, okay.
Yeah, guys giving them money.
I'll take
and
this
run it
deal
back
just to
again.
You
come
mean
back.
this past year?
Yeah.
Because they came back the second year and they still made the postseason.
Right,
And
so
at
they
least,
made the
at
playoffs
least they
that
could run the
time.
ball and they looked like an efficient offense last year. I'm not really sure what that was. Since we're in the business of looking at stats from a year ago compared to now, we keep talking about how the Jaguars' plan is to outscore everybody, right? Because that's what the Chiefs are doing. That's what the Bengals did. Even if their defense had shortcomings, they outscore everybody. It doesn't matter. So let's go back to last year, and 2021 for that matter. How many points allowed, the average, for the Kansas City Chiefs 1 year ago and the year before? And where do you think they rank in the National Football League? And again, this is points against.
Right. And so you're saying last year and the year before?
Yes.
They were pretty they probably gave up an average of 20 points a game, something in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I'd say 22.
Would be my guess. And so that would put them between 15 and 20.
Can we ring up Leon, JJ, with a yes, sir?
Yeah.
22.2
Yeah.
on the nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
22. And by the way, 22.4 points allowed the year before, 18th in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the flip side of that, they averaged 29.2 points per game last year, only a tick lower than 29.4 points per game the season prior. The only team in that 2-year span that has had a better mark was the Dallas Cowboys in 2021 when they averaged 30.4 points per game. No one else has come close. Oh, actually, I take that. Buffalo in 2021, 29.8, so 0.4 ticks higher.
Mm-hmm.
So there is something to, if you outscore them, it doesn't matter. Now, by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't show both sides of the argument. The New York Football Jets last year, without Aaron Rodgers, but with that ascending defense, were second in the National Football League, 18.6 points allowed.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side of that, they were 29th in points scored per game.
Yeah. They gave up more than they scored, even though they held teams to below 19 points per game. But when I'm looking at the rank, and I said between 15 and 20 for the Chiefs, that's where they want to live, okay, somewhere around the middle of the pack in what they give up, but they want to live at the top in what they score. And that is the NFL in today's world. If you're a top 10 offense and a top 20 defense, you got a chance to win the Lombardi. That really is what it boils down to. And heck, you can go to Cincinnati. They had a good defense, but they had a scoring offense. Same thing with the Buffalo Bills with that number that Mia just threw out. That's what this team has to become. If they got the right offensive coach and the right offensive team to do it, they got to score north of 4 touchdowns. That's probably what they got to do. And then they got to give up less than 3.
Yeah.
And they gave up around 21 points on average last year.
Well, listen, I was on the flip side of this when I played with the Steelers. Our defense only gave up a certain amount of points a game, and we couldn't score any points. And they come in the locker room and look at the offense like, what the hell? We held the team to 14 points. Y'all can't score 14 points. So you do that on the flip side of the Jaguars. Let's say this Jaguar team goes into a game and they score 28 points, and they lose 31-28. I mean, then they look at the defense like, come on now. We get 4 touchdowns. y'all got to keep him from getting 4 touchdowns in the field goal. I'm just saying that. I mean, that could spin could spin his wheel a little bit as far as the dynamics of the locker room go. If you got this prolific offense that's scoring all these points, and you got this defense that can't stop anybody. Now, I'm agreeing with you. If we got a top 10 offense and a top 20 defense, you could be holding.
That's what I think they're going.
You could be holding the silver one. The Lombardi when it's all said and done.
You're going to have to live around giving up 21.
I'll take
not
that.
more than
I'll
that.
take 21.
Yeah, and then
but if we
score more
score
than
29, I take that all day.
How many teams do you think? Let's get some game show music going, JJ. How many teams do you think are in the top 10 in points scored from a season ago and in the top 10 in points least points allowed?
I'll go
game.
San Francisco in a heartbeat.
San Francisco is indeed on that list.
Yeah.
Bring them up.
Yeah.
Ding.
In a heartbeat. And then I think you might have to put the
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is there.
Yeah. Bills, Bengals. I think both of them probably should be there.
Both of them are there. That's double ding.
Uh-huh. I like the double ding.
Cowboys.
The Cowboys are up there.
Okay, all right.
Wow, I thought the Cowboys.
They were actually, if you can believe it, they were the 4th highest scoring offense last year.
What about
they scored.
What was their
I thought
defense?
Their defense was 6th, 19.7 points per
All right,
game.
so we're around 6 out of the 10. Minnesota scored, but then trying to think if I.
No, Minnesota's got to be one.
Yeah, I'd put them in there.
Yeah.
Nope, not Minnesota.
No?
Their
Okay.
defense was ranked. Damn, where is their defense? I don't even see
Okay.
it.
I actually thought they were kind of.
Their defense was allowed 25.4 points per game. That was 30th in the National Football League. But they were top 10 in offense.
Yeah, yeah.
What
I
about
gave
the-
them a little
What
way too
about the
much credit.
Chargers?
Yeah, the Chargers are already on there, right?
Chargers were
Chargers?
12th in offense, and they were 23rd
Ooh,
in
that's
defense.
Yeah, that not such a hot defense.
15th in defense for the Bucks, excuse me.
All right, what about Miami?
25th in offense.
Yeah.
Miami in offense was 11th.
Okay, so just outside.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Just outside. You're thinking of.
I think you hit them all because
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. So let's round out the rest of the top 10 in offense. So we hit Kansas City, we hit Philly, Buffalo,
Yeah.
Dallas. Detroit was 5th in offense,
Mhm.
but they were
Hear that again, people.
28th in defense, 5th overall in offense. They averaged 26.6 points per game,
Yeah.
but they also allowed 25.1.
Hear that again, people. That's Jared Goff. Okay.
That's a team your Jacksonville
And
Jaguars
Amon Ray and those
are
guys
about to go see
And
this
Jamal
week.
Williams was a scoring machine, and now he's not there. But and actually, both of their running backs were dealt.
Yeah,
'cause
but it's
DeAndre
Kyle
left.
Shanahan. It's
and then they
fine.
went out and they drafted.
Oh, no, sorry, that's Detroit. That's not Kyle
Yeah.
Shanahan. I was already looking ahead to San
Yeah,
Francisco.
they went out and drafted a first rounder to come in and run the football for him, which we will see a little bit of him.
Yeah, we got San Fran. We hit them.
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Mhm.
Your Jacksonville Jaguars, the 9th best scoring offense, the 14th best defense.
Which is still, I think, a surprise to a lot of people. They were still up there, did a decent job when it came to, at the end, limiting teams to about 21 points.
We just need a little uptick. A little uptick. I mean, we're 9-14, which is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get in I think this year if we can get in the top 10 of both.
It's not a little uptick.
I mean, you're talking about 4.
You go from 14 to 9. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 14 to
Pretty
10.
good.
You go from 14 to 10. You go from 9 to maybe 7, 6. I mean, those should be your aspirations.
Yeah.
I will say
play
this:
the game?
the jump for the Jaguars in offense and points scored.
Yeah.
This has got to be some sort of record that they went from 14.9 points per game scored in 2021 to 23.9.
Yeah. So we were looking at a touchdown improvement, how big that
Mm-hmm.
is, and that is 9 points, which is pretty good.
By the way, the 10th best scoring offense last year, the Seattle Seahawks, 23.9 points per game. A little uncharacteristic for Pete Carroll and company. 25th in defense. They allowed 24.6
I
points.
remember Geno Smith threw 30 touchdowns last year, 7 picks, something like that. He had a great year.
And they had to outlast some people scoring wise, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so hit us with your thoughts. Top 10, top 20 defense is kind of how I'm describing it, but what do you think they need to be able to make the run? Let's get it to college football as well, coming up here in just a second. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, they bring you today's show, and they have got deals every day. They want to take care of you. I talked to my man JB yesterday. I call him the Joe Walsh salesman over there at Beaver Toyota because they'll just hook you up. They'll take care of you, make sure you get the ride you want, the payment you want, and then that service to back it up with Boydo and the boys. They definitely can take care of you. Beaver Toyota, St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet right here in Duval. So let's get to a couple of talking points in the SEC, including Kirby Smart and what he thinks about his quarterback situation. That'll be coming up right here on XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Is this heaven? No, it's the great before. This is where new souls get their personalities, quirks, and interests before they go to Earth.
1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Are you suffering with chronic pain and looking for the tools to end your pain and allow you to do the things you want? Then search no further. The Yas method for pain-free movement establishes the cause of pain and has found in 98% of the cases the cause is muscular. With 3 to 4 specialized strength training exercises that you perform and are taught to do on your own, you will end your pain and reclaim your life. No surgery, no pills, no needles. Call Dr. Yas, 904-906-YASS, or schedule online at livewithoutpains.com and listen to the Pain-Free Living Hour with Dr. Yas Sundays at 10 a.m. on 1010XL.
Did you know the new 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid has an onboard system that charges the battery so you never have to plug it in? When you think Honda, you think quality, value, safety. Now think hybrid. Visit your local Honda dealer and experience the car of tomorrow today.
I'm Shane with Renew Solutions, an expert in transforming your hardwood floors to a timeless and elegant new look. For any wood floor repairs, replace, or installs, I've got you covered at Renew Solutions. Visit renewjacksfloors.com.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 15, 1999 PGA Championship Men's Golf, Tiger Woods wins his second major championship by 1 stroke ahead of Sergio Garcia.
Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Beat the heat at Best Bet. We're paying out over $600,000 during the month of August with events like our $1,500 high hands. The action is on fire and there are tons of daily poker tournaments going on all month long. Come play the hottest games, including Ultimate Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, 1-card poker, DJ Wild, and Pai Gow. Stay cool this month at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Did you know that many cooling companies are now part of big conglomerates with no connection to Northeast Florida? In the past, they have concentrated on heating and air conditioning, but after a buyout, many add plumbing and electrical services. This raises their overhead and those costs are passed on to the consumer. It's a case where bigger isn't better, it's just more expensive. Not Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Mike Merritt remains family-owned and operated. Merritt's focus has been the same for more than 30 years, keeping Northeast Florida comfortable no matter what the weather. And there are no overtime or weekend surcharges. Mike Merritt's team does not work on commission. They repair only what needs repair and offer replacements only on what can't be fixed. And unlike at giant corporations where you can feel like just another number, with Mike Merritt you'll feel like number one. Florida license CACO 50384.
It all comes down to Daytona in the Coke Zero Sugar 400 race weekend, August 25th and 26th. Answer this question for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400, August 26th. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010 for your chance to win.
I want my Woody's barbecue.
Summer's blazing hot, so is what's going on at your neighborhood Woody's Barbecue, who are now introducing their fried chicken and fried pork menu specials. Can you believe that? Selling fried chicken at a barbecue restaurant? High Flying Jacko here. Step right on up outside your normal circle of comfort and order your fried chicken or fried pork today.
See you at Woody's Barbecue today.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville.
I can't tell you anything until I watch the tape. I can tell you that I would like to see all three of them play better, but the people around them have to play better. So when you evaluate a quarterback and you say, well, he threw an interception. Well, if it hit a guy in the hands and it bounced through his hands and got intercepted, obviously we judge that. If there's 7 drops during the scrimmage because of wet hands and heat, then you evaluate that. But I don't think any of those quarterbacks would tell you they played their best game, and I think we need each one of them to get better to get where we want to go.
This is XL Primetime, protected by Preferred Roofing on 1010XL.
Kirby Smart still non-committal as to who will be his opening day starter for the 2-time reigning national champion Georgia Bulldogs. Will it be Mandarin grad Carson Beck? By all accounts, he was in the driver's seat, boys. What could have changed? Or is this just simply another case of Kirby being Kirby and not giving an inch?
Matt, I kind of put it in that category. It's like he's not going to be he's not going to go easy on any of them. He's going to keep every one of them thinking that they've got a chance to win this job and think that they're going to play an important role. They may not be the starter, but they can be impactful. And we look around the league, and we'll hit on a couple of other ones coming up in a second. But there's a lot of quarterback decisions that are not decided right now by teams that are expected to be playing for a college football playoff spot.
I think Kirby realizes what happened the last time Carson Beck knew he was going to be the starter, and he's not going to let up anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2 years ago, before the Stetson Bennett craziness even happened,
right,
Carson Beck was the projected starter that week when JT Daniels got hurt and could not play against UAB, and he practiced really badly the entire week. And then Kirby panicked and said, let's go with Stetson because we know what we got with him.
Yeah.
We saw what we had with him last year. Even though he lost a couple games, we at least we know what we have with him.
All right,
and then the rest is he took off.
Well, you mean he didn't want him to be comfortable and complacent?
Correct, which is what I think he doesn't want Carson Beck to be right now.
Okay, but we're guessing here. But would you say, like, after a tough lesson like that, you become a more mature individual next time you got a shot at it?
Yeah, I mean, especially if you had the opportunity to be a starting quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, and you literally gave away that situation because of your unpreparedness, and somebody else came and stole your thunder and won 2 national championships, and now you're on the back burner fighting for your life to see if you can get. Yeah, absolutely. It's a humbling experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
but
so,
it's a lesson learned.
Yeah, and so I guess I wonder, the ultimate question, which we won't know, is does he, even though he might have matured, does he still have what it takes to lead that football team to be that good? Because he can move. But Kirby, like, he's got a big arm. He can move. But Kirby's still described, who is it, Vandergrier, as a more athletic guy than Carson Beck.
Right. He does more with his feet, clearly. He's more of a runner. I mean, I don't. That intrigues every coach. I don't care who you are.
Right.
If you've got a guy that can throw it and run it, that's a big weapon to have. He's not the thrower that Carson Beck is, Vandegrift. And I think all you got to do is watch the spring game. You can see Carson Beck is set up to have a really big year this year.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go through the AP Top 25, the first edition of which dropped yesterday, and go through the quarterback rankings. These are how they are ranked, again, by the AP voters. These are the teams in college football that many believe will be the top 10 teams to begin the year. But which ones have the all-important position already figured out? We begin with Georgia, who we just alluded to. Still no word just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, bringing back J.J. McCarthy.
They're set.
Yeah, he's an All-American Heisman candidate, yeah.
Ohio State.
No. I mean, the longer that goes on, the more I think Devin Brown's going to win that job ahead of Kyle McCord.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama.
No,
they are not settled at all.
Clearly not.
Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
USC.
Yes.
Penn State.
Yes.
Florida State.
Yes.
Clemson.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
And just a little sidebar to Clemson. It is Cade Klubnik's job, but he's got to grow from what he went through at the end of last year.
He's gonna have a big year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like he's we're talking about maturity. Okay, the last time he had a chance, the last we saw of him, he was getting just clobbered by Tennessee.
But to be fair to him, a month earlier in the ACC championship game, he won the ACC. For them.
Started to
Played
step
really
up.
well.
Right, exactly.
It's a fun exercise because now I'm going to contrast that, Leon, with here were the final AP poll from a season ago. I want you all to put on, go back in the time machine and think back to these 10 schools that finished as the top 10 schools in college football. Did they know who their quarterback was, Leon, Matt, and Joe, at the start of last season? Georgia.
Yes.
TCU.
No, because
Morse
started and got hurt.
Yeah.
First half of the first game of the season.
Michigan.
Yeah. Well, JJ and K. McNamara both played, but
that was the rotation of all rotations.
There's a lot of people who believe that the only reason Harbaugh did that is because
he wanted McCarthy.
He wanted McCarthy. He wanted to show not only McNamara that McCarthy was better, but he wanted to show the Michigan fan base.
By the way, remember
that McCarthy
he let
was
two
better.
different guys start the first two games,
right,
and then went to JJ,
which is what Ohio State might do this year, by the way.
Yeah.
Which Ohio State is fourth from last year's final poll, and obviously they knew who their quarterback was in C.J. Stroud.
Yep.
Alabama knew Bryce Young. Tennessee.
Not really.
Yeah, with Hooker last year.
At the beginning,
they didn't know what they had, but he was the starter.
He had 34 touchdowns and 3 picks the year before. They knew what they had.
If we're talking about coming over, I'm just trying to remember him.
No, he was at Tennessee the year before.
Last year, the year before that, he had 34 touchdowns and 3 picks. Yeah.
Listen, I don't give the Vols any credit.
Penn State knew who their quarterback was, despite who their fans probably
he's been there for 7 years.
Who they wanted it to
he's
be.
Still there, although he's in the NFL. He's still there.
Yeah. He's at Penn State West, aka Green Bay. Washington.
No, because that was
Penix had just gotten
Penix's first.
Yeah. Maybe I'm having.
I mean, they knew what they had because he played well previously 1 year at Indiana. So not that well though.
Yeah.
Tulane.
Michael Pratt.
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah, Cam Rising.
So that means that from last year, the teams that finished the season in the top 10, at the start of the season, 1, 2, 3, didn't know who their quarterback was when they began the year.
The rest of them were set.
Now, again, we just rattled off this latest AP poll. You got 3 in the top 4 that don't know who their quarterback is. Is it sustainable that you
Georgia knows who his quarterback is.
Georgia, right, and that's
Ohio State and Alabama. Definitely.
Ohio State, it's going to be one of the two, and he's going to throw for like 36 touchdowns.
That Ryan Day offense is built.
Alabama, I think, is the only question of those 4.
To set up stats. Brett McMurphy, his AP vote, a little different just as far as, who he chose as far as the top teams. And we love Action McMurphy. He's always with us. But he had Georgia, Michigan 1 and 2. He had Florida State 3rd. He had Florida State.
He also has Washington in the playoff.
Yeah, he had Florida State 3rd. He had Alabama behind Ohio State 5th. He had LSU, Leon, 6th. I'm talking to Big Vic this morning, and I told him that you and I were on LSU, and he's like, is that a curse? Are you guys trying to curse me? I'm like, maybe. But anyway, Brett McMurphy went LSU, Washington, Penn State, Oregon, Clemson 10th. And so anyway, I thought it was interesting that he had Florida State all the way as high as 3rd.
Clemson 10th.
Yeah.
Where was Tennessee in that?
He had Tennessee, see here, 15th.
Yeah, I don't get that, man.
He went, and it's interesting.
I mean, Joe Milton beat Clemson last year in the bowl game.
Yeah.
I don't know how else you look at that, honestly.
Well, I think you look at returning guys, who else you do have coming back.
They got like 15 starters returning.
Both guys are trying to prove that they're the quarterback of the future for their teams. So I get that. But he does have them 5 spots further back. Yeah.
Did y'all know Florida did receive 4 votes in the AP Top 25?
Yeah. By who?
That's sweet.
Is Zach Goodall vote?
Is Dooley still voting for?
Yeah.
I got to find out. We're going to have to go through writer by writer and see who voted. Who voted for Florida?
Yeah. Well, they got a chance maybe to start off with a dub with the lack of health at the quarterback position for the Utes. But that's really the only thing that's propping them up right now. All right, so you could throw some college thoughts at us. Hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You got an interview coming up that we're going to get to before we say hello to Coach Campo and say goodbye to Big Sirs.
Yes, Christian Braswell, 6th-round DB out of Temple by way of Rutgers. Let's call it that. Got to catch up with him after practice yesterday and after his interception and big day on Saturday against the Dallas Cowboys. Don't go anywhere. That's coming up next on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Draft in the fast groove on 1010XL.
I've been watching lap times.
This Sunday at Watkins Glen. Brought to you by Famous Automotive Tire and Quick Lube. Servicing every customer like they're famous. On Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Mia here, and boy, do I have a story for you. A few weeks ago, those gnarly storms we had, they flooded my entire front and backyard and knocked out my AC. No way an air conditioning tech would come to my house on a Sunday, right? Wrong, because I called my friends at Duck Duck Rooter AC. Jeff and Heather had a highly skilled technician en route to my house within 2 hours. So be like me and contact Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning today at 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckac.com.
For the past 5 years in Jacksonville, J-Dog Junk Removal has been on a mission to put veterans back to work. They have successfully helped over 40 veterans find meaningful employment, and they're not stopping there. Their goal is to reach an astounding 75 veterans employed by the year 2025, all in our local community. J-Dog Junk Removal, veteran-owned, veteran-operated.
Mia here, and my friends over at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned are fighting inflation and saving you even more. That pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla I told you about, it's no longer $1,000 down. It is now just $500 down and $288 per month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma, now just $500 down and $388 per month. With over 400 used cars in stock, plus more than 100 vehicles under $18K, Arlington is fighting inflation and saving you big time. Find out more at arlingtontoyota.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
This is Frank Frangie. Join Dan Hickett and me for All Things Gators, our podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, with new episodes every Monday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL Florida Gators Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or TuneIn.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ChinatrydC.com.
Clayton, I want to ask you a question that you're probably asked all the time. If you're going to buy an engagement ring, how much should you spend?
David, that's a question that does get asked a lot, and the guideline most often used is the equivalent of 2 months' salary. The price you pay for a diamond is directly related to its beauty. If somebody wants a big, cheap diamond, I'll guarantee you it's poor diamond quality-wise, and that's not what we carry at Underwood's. But if you want a diamond with a fine color, clarity, and cut to the right specifications for maximum beauty, these are the kind of diamonds we carefully select to have at Underwood's. You see, when somebody's been married for a long time, they don't always remember what they paid for their engagement ring. They do remember the sacrifice they made to pay for it, though. And when you consider that a diamond engagement ring will be worn and looked at by her every day for the rest of her life, most people will agree that a really fine quality diamond ought to be considered. That's what we specialize in at Underwood's and have since 1928.
Underwood Jewelers.
Ackerman Urology offers the most advanced options for improving men's health and vitality. Their board-certified urologists treat all prostate disease and sexual health issues. Call their new location on Atlantic and Hodges or visit AckermanUrology.com.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here, and I want to know, are your drafty windows letting all that cool air right back outside? Will they protect your home from Florida's unpredictable weather? If not, then it's time for the peace of mind that comes only with Pella Windows and Doors. Pella offers durable wood, fiberglass, and vinyl products in various styles and designs to best complement your home. So visit the Pella of Jacksonville showroom on Phillips Highway next to Tesla, or find them at PellaJacks.com. That's Pella Windows and Doors at PellaJacks.com.
Active and pain-free. That's the ticket. Dr. George Barry here, and I know that's the goal of every patient I see. They want the best possible care so they can go back to enjoying life. That could be pickup basketball, golf, tennis, running, or just working out. It all requires you to be as healthy as you can be. If joint pain is taking its toll on your active lifestyle, come see me at Barry Orthopedics. We have locations all over Jacksonville and can diagnose and treat even the most severe joint pain. A homegrown Jacksonville practice. Find out more at BarryOrthopedics.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars now know their Week 1 opponent at quarterback. Colts head coach Shane Steichen announced this morning that Anthony Richardson will start Week 1 against the Jaguars. The former Florida Gators quarterback was the 4th overall pick in April's NFL Draft. Richardson earned the Colts starting job over former Jaguars quarterback Gardner Minshew. AR completed 7 of 12 passes for 67 yards and an interception in preseason Game 1 against the Bills. It will be Anthony Richardson against Trevor Lawrence, Week 1 in Indianapolis. Kickoff is Sunday, September 10th at 1 o'clock, right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Well, we are looking forward to a preseason game coming up against the Detroit Lions that we're not quite sure if we're going to see starters. I've heard a little more chatter about maybe not seeing the starters against the Detroit Lions because of these. Are you ready for this, Leon? Because of these physical practices that they're going to have. And I keep saying to myself,
we're all man's men here, right?
I keep saying to myself, yeah, you got physical practices and you got to play a game, because you're not going to see the starters for basically 3 Sundays, a total of 2 weeks before the regular season starts. That's going to be a while, but that's what some people are thinking, so we will find out. Now, it gives the other guys a chance to step up and make plays. So real quick, before we hear the conversation that Mia had with Christian Braswell, he's one of the guys that stepped up. I mean, would you rather see the back half of that roster work their fanny off to try and make a roster spot?
If I hadn't been at one of the joint practices a couple of years ago when they went to the Ravens, they were pretty intense. I mean, they got after it pretty good. A little 9-on-7, little team period, little blitz drill, 1-on-1, 7-on-7. I mean, so they got after it pretty good. I mean, I saw enough from the ones against – it was good on good. It was Jaguar ones against Raven ones on both sides of the ball, and they got after it. So, I mean, if they don't play, after I saw how intense the joint practices were, a lot of smack talking going on too, which I enjoy. Only thing that was missing was a fight. But everything else was good. Everything was good about that. So, listen, I would – my only concern is that, if you don't play them this second game, you're not going to play them game 3. Then you're going to have, 2 weeks before that's a lot of off time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of off time. Now, when I say off time, I mean I'm talking about gameplay situations.
Right.
I mean, you can simulate that in practice.
But basically, you wouldn't see them from August 12th to September 10th. That's a lot.
Is there any chance they play against the Dolphins? Because I would say no.
Yeah,
but knowing that it's just a 3 preseason game calendar now, you have that 2-week buffer. I don't think you will, but, what's your other alternative?
Play them this Saturday.
Give them a quarter.
Yeah. I like the idea of that because you're still trying to settle a few things. Like we said, Walker Little still needs some reps as far as, protecting the blind side of Trevor Lawrence.
Anton Harrison needs
and Anton Harrison definitely needs
Trayvon Walker needs some reps.
Yeah, those guys for sure need
Josh
need
Allen
work.
needs some reps.
Yeah. And so I'm all about it, especially when you're going to go because you're basically, if you do play them this weekend, so you will be going from the 19th to the 10th. And so you're, still that's 3 Sundays between the time that they'll play.
Here's another thing. I'll be interested to see what veterans say, hey, Coach, I need to get some rest. I want to play this game. I mean, because that's a long time off. Now, you can simulate, like I said, game situations in practice stuff. But there's nothing like the intensity of going against another individual and, man-on-man type of combat.
Yeah. All right, so you guys can chime in on that. How much do you think they'll play? That'll be a theme once we head up to Detroit with these joint practices taking place tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. The Franchise Show will be up there with plenty coming from Motown. So right now, let's have the sit-down that Mia had with one of the guys trying to make this squad.
Pleased to be joined with Jaguars rookie cornerback, defensive back Christian Braswell. Christian, first afternoon practice of camp. I know you're from the Northeast, correct me if I'm wrong, like myself. So how have you been adjusting to these heated temperatures?
That's all I can do is just hiss right now. It's hot down here. I just make sure I hydrate. But it is what it is. I got to deal with it. I got to make sure I put in the right stuff in my body. So that's all it is.
If Jaguar fans weren't familiar with your game, obviously this past weekend, they got to know you a little bit more. But take us off the field, your journey, going and beginning your career at Temple in college, then to Rutgers, and now here with the Jaguars.
Yeah, man, to sum it up, man, it's just a lot of adversity, I would say. Fighting through, political things, injuries, just working your way up through depth charts on each team that you go to. And, it doesn't stop. It's still the same thing here. I'm growing with my team right here where I'm at right now, but it's just an ongoing progress. And, that's what I'm here to do, just work and show it on the field every time I get a chance.
How many offers did you have out of high school? What was the perception coming out?
I believe I had I got my offers all my 12th grade year, but I think I had 11 or 12, I believe. A lot of them was HBCU offers. The biggest offer I had got was Temple, which was 3 days before signing day, which was amazing to me because that was the school I really wanted to go to. So, God worked it out all right there for me. So that's how that went. So.
You had a chip on your shoulder. Is that how you play, or what would you say is your motivation?
Yeah, I definitely have a chip on my shoulder. Like I said, nothing was ever really given to me. If I was a third string and from high school, I made my way to a starter my senior year and became one of the best players on my team. And it was the same way in college. I had to start third, fourth string, just a young guy coming in and work my way up, getting a single digit at Temple, going to Rutgers, fighting through adversities, through injuries and stuff, and still finding my way to get drafted to where I'm at today. So it's an ongoing thing, and I understand it. I embrace it each and every day. So that's my motto, just looking at taking on work or whatever a coach gives me to do.
Let's get to the on-the-field stuff. How would you describe your game as a corner? Are you an inside guy, an outside guy? How has your game evolved since you got to Jacksonville?
I honestly love both. I'm growing to love both. I've been playing both since I was in high school. But if I honestly had to pick one for you guys, it would be corner. But I love both, almost equally to be real with you. But I will say you probably get to make a little bit more plays at nickel just because you're in a pass game, run fit. You get forced fumbles, picks. You get a little bit of everything, sacks. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm indecisive, but I would say corner.
How much nickel did you play in college?
I played a lot of nickel in college. I played a lot. I was definitely on the third down package and sometimes first and second at times. But nickel is exciting, but corner is like one of those. You get that one-on-one matchup with a receiver. It's like a showdown, so it's time to get to work. So that's how I like that excitement and that feeling when I'm out there.
I know the hamstring injury kept you sidelined for a little bit of the mini camp portion of when you first got down here and then a little bit of training camp. For you, though, when you step out onto the field this past Saturday, what did it mean to you overcoming that and everything else you alluded to?
Yeah, I actually don't know if a lot of people knew about that or not, but like I said, I just been fighting adversity, and it's one of those things, God puts on my plate, and, just to be patient. Sometimes you don't truly understand things when you go through them, and you try to do everything you can to, keep your body right, keep your mental right, and, all those things, and it just doesn't quite flow with you, but, God always has a plan, and He's always testing me just to be patient, just trust Him in those situations, and trusting the people in this organization to take care of me the best way possible to get me on the field to play.
What will you remember most from your first NFL game this past Saturday?
I think y'all know it. But my interception, my first interception, just playing in the Cowboys Stadium, honestly, it didn't matter what NFL team we played against, but I feel like the Cowboys one of those stadiums like we playing in Dallas at the, in Jerry World type stuff. But just to get my first pick there, growing up watching Dallas and just in the NFL, it was crazy. So that was definitely my most memorable moment.
How much special teams did you play in college versus getting here to Jacksonville? Because I know what stuck out to me is, despite missing some time, you're running with the first, second team special teams unit on Saturday.
Yeah, I played like my early years of college. I played a lot of special teams. Obviously, as I got older and older, I didn't play as much, but I did play still. But now it's back at the beginning stage. Trying to earn that spot just to be a benefit to the team, just trying to help the team as much as possible wherever they need help. So, I mean, like you said, it's fun, being able to get the get that opportunity to, run with the ones and twos during that time and just, kind of just showcase what I can do for the team.
All right, Christian, before we let you go and get out of this heat, what's the most fun thing you've done off the field since you came to Jacksonville?
Off the field? Off the field. I'm not, honestly, I'm a person that's so laid back, so I honestly can't say without them exciting off the field.
Have you gone to the beach? Are you a golf guy? Anything that you've are you a boating guy or hung out at the hotel?
Yeah, when I get a chance to get an off day, it's gonna be literally in my hotel room or in here. So I'm still looking forward to going to the beach, going places in Jacksonville, but I don't have anything exciting for y'all right now.
Hey, listen, you were exciting on the field Saturday. That's what counts. Looking forward to the rest of your rookie year.
Thank you.
And that interview, like all of our interviews from Jaguars training camp, available right now on our YouTube channel in video form, as well as on our Facebook page, and of course wherever you get your 1010XL on demand.
Humble guy, a guy that did make a play the other night. He's got a chance. It was late in the game, but when you're out there, you got to make plays. It's like we talked about Caleb on Chason. If I told you he was in that game, you go, really? You've got to make plays when you have a chance. So, Leon, yesterday we talked about how thin it was at those two weak and strong side linebacker spots. Talking 7 guys, that isn't scaring anybody right now, and that includes Josh Allen. But when you take a look at this cornerback room, and Braswell's trying to be one of the guys. So basically, at that nickel spot, you have Trey Herndon, number 1, Gregory Jr., second string, and I think he's flashed. I really do. And Braswell's right behind him. What do you think of that guy? Because there's a handful of good players in that cornerback room.
Yeah, I mean he's going to be in a nickel situation. I mean, Yeah, it's a numbers game. I'm not sure how many DBs do they usually keep on the team. 7, 6, something like that. Whatever.
Probably between, I would say, a total of maybe 11.
11. Okay.
If you, and again, it'd have to come up with maybe a special teams equation. But 4
well,
safeties.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, all he could do.
Yeah.
All I'm thinking that all he could do is just keep making plays, especially if he's in any special teams. I mean, they're going to be watching him as far as gunners,
right?
Kickoff coverage, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, at this particular point in time, he's just got to keep making plays. Opportunities he's got to seize the moment and make sure he stands out whenever he gets to playing time.
So Doug has mentioned Monteric Brown, Buster Brown, and we do think that we like his speed. He's got a chance to develop. He's one of those guys that we've been talking about. But you got Darius, Tyson, and Trey. Those are your 3 guys. And if we're talking nickel, they're out there a bunch. And so that's why I'm wondering if they'll go 6 or 7. But then after that, Tavon Campbell's battling. Clay Brooks has got to hang on to a job. We don't know. You've got Devon Wilson has made a few plays.
And they really like him on special teams. I mean, he right now is probably your 3rd returner behind Jamal Agnew, Parker Washington, and then it's him.
And that's the only reason why I keep him as maybe that 7th guy if you're considering special teams.
I think they're trying to get him to the practice squad. I know in talking to Mike Caldwell, talking to Heath Farwell, he actually has Leon that nasty, that chatty corner mentality, which if you look at those first 3 guys we listed as their starting 3 corners, none of those guys. I mean, Tyson Campbell is vocal. He's not trash talking out there quite like he who must not be named with his back injury, who used to play in this town.
Chatter,
or Josh Norman or any of those guys. That's just not that's not Tyson's MO. That's not Darius's MO. It's not Trey Herndon's MO. But they need a little bit of nasty in that room, and so that's where they said it's that kid, Devon Wilson out of UCF, who's really been the talker in the group. But I didn't realize until I talked to Christian just how much nickel he had played at the college level. And so I know they don't target him until the 6th round, but at least he did have nickel experience.
Just imagine if they have guys, and Antonio Johnson is not listed at the nickel. Okay, he's not.
No, he's a safety, but he will come into the slot.
But just imagine if guys that are in the slot and having to deal with either nickel or dime situations, which Coach Campbell will talk about and has talked about, if 2 of those guys are 5th and 6th round picks, is that not crazy? An undrafted and a 5th and 6th rounder that could have a major impact.
As opposed to the number 9 overall, you mean?
Yeah, which they did. They tried that. And it didn't work. Talking about CJ.
Oh, I don't mind my corners yappy. Yeah. I like yappy corners actually. Because that means they're like risk reward guys.
Well,
I
means they
like risk reward guys.
Yeah, they want to be seen. They want the spotlight on them instead of hiding.
Come get me. Yeah, I like that.
Insulating themselves.
Yeah.
So
I don't mind it. As long as you back it up.
Yeah, you got to do that.
That's
you got to do that.
Yeah.
All right, Big Sir, you'll be back tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, heading out the door. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. And let's say hello to Coach Campo. He will own the 2 o'clock hour as we come out of that first game against what once was his beloved Cowboys, but now he is a diehard Duvaller. So we'll get his take on what he saw.
Hopefully Gibby saved that drop for you, JJ, because Coach Campo said it with his chest last week.
Oh, yeah. He is a diehard and dyed in teal man now. So we'll say hello to him coming up. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, they bring you today's show. We love recommending them. BeaverChevy.com, BeaverChevrolet.com, BeaverToyotaSt.Augustine.com. They bring you Tuesday's show, and we'll say hello to Coach Campo in the 2 o'clock hour coming up next.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. He's the Belichick of fantasy football.
We're on to Cincinnati.
And he doesn't cheat.
No, it's a conversation for later.
Mike Dempsey, 10 to noon weekdays.
We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
On 1010XL.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, Local pitmasters since '68.
After my surgery, my knee was back in shape after only a few months. I trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with my daughter's back surgery as well. Both of us are great, and we're doing exactly what we love to do. This is David Lane, and I seriously recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for any orthopedic issue.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. Our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is ready to help you too. We'd like to thank the coaches and schools who trust in our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hear that? That's the sound of the grill in summertime. That is a clean grill by Grill SOS. Backyard barbecue season is here. Let the 5-star rated pros at Grill SOS deep clean your barbecue grill. Book now at grillsos.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Look, warmer weather now means mosquito, flea, and tick season is here. These pests are out for blood, but you don't have to let them win. Protect your home and family with Kingfish Pest Control. As a Kingfish customer myself, I know their products are safe for kids and pets. Plus, with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can relax knowing your yard is pest-free. Call today, mention the Jags to receive 10% off your initial service. That's Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 877-4300 for Florida Home AC.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The 9 after 5 rolls on at the Golf Club of Southampton, so get on the tee with me, Joe C. The XL Primetime League is in the summer stretch, and you need to be part of it. Southampton invites you to join us every Wednesday for our 9 after 5. Beat the heat and blow off a little steam with friends and family at Southampton. A great game every week, good grub afterwards, and prizes. Call 287-PLAY and get in the game every Wednesday. It's our 9 after 5 at Southampton. Call 287-PLAY.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Beer, water, beer. That's a pretty good game plan when it comes to battling the summer heat. When you hit the beach, fishing hole, or golf course, make sure you hydrate. Anheuser-Busch is always up for a good time. Just remember to drink responsibly.
It's time to crank up the heat where the helmets meet.
Huddle up! Huddle up!
Every time something you need to know happens at training camp, you'll hear about it on 1010XL.
Let's go!
Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control and Roland Leash Plumbing.
Answer this question for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400, August 26th at Daytona. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for your chance to win.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by your First Coast Honda dealers. Congratulations to the Jacksonville Sharks, your 2023 National Arena League champions. Sharks head coach Jason Gibson, a guest of the drill.
From a fan base, I got to tell you, that crowd Saturday night, you talk about electric, it was loud, it was insane. It definitely changed the game. We play that game on the road, we lose. but we played it here. We're at the best franchise in the country.
The Sharks captured their third title on Saturday night with a 54-45 victory over the Carolina Cobras. News out of Indianapolis this morning. The Colts have named former Gators quarterback Anthony Richardson as the starting quarterback for Week 1. It's 93 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's welcome in XL Primetime's coach, Dave Campo.
2 o'clock hour is here. It's XL Primetime on a Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevy Tuesday. And Coach Campo, he knows it's football season, so the smile is even brighter.
Folks,
it's
I don't
bigger.
think you understand. I don't think even our YouTube live stream can encapsulate Coach Campo when he walked in here. We said, "You ready, Coach?" And, of course, he's fired up as always. And he goes, "I broke down every position, and I think he broke down every play from Saturday's game, and he has it on his note papers over there."
You know why, though? Because I'm done with the Yankees.
Yeah, there it is.
So I got away from I got away from the baseball games and on to football.
Here's the thing, folks. Coach Campo says he's done with the Yankees, but you watched the game last night.
I did. I'm probably
But
going
there
to
you
watch it
go.
again tonight. But that's the way it goes.
You're just like every other baseball fan that thinks their team's done. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, 8 straight and all that kind of stuff. So we're okay.
Yeah,
we're okay right now.
He had to throw that one in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Free of charge.
Yeah, had to. All right, so wanted to welcome you, knowing that you do have that boundless enthusiasm for the game, and then now knowing that you've got something to look at. You got 60 minutes of ball to look at,
right?
And I'm feeling like you had some good and some bad in the 60 minutes. So what were your initial thoughts from Saturday?
Well, first of all, you have to understand that our first unit on both sides of the ball, we're playing against the second unit of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So everything that you say about an individual guy is with a little bit of a grain of salt.
Sure.
But these are NFL guys, and the second group guys for the Cowboys are pretty decent. They're not bad. As a matter of fact, Walker Little, number 54 that was on Walker Little, had 6 sacks last year. That's Williams, okay? So you are seeing some stuff. And the thing that I liked about it was, obviously, we got off to a tough start offensively, and that was a bad throw by Trevor, but that's not going to happen during the season. He was trying to make something right away, and when he got the ball, he ate him up on the drive for the touchdown. So, that's good.
Yeah.
The defensive side of the ball, there was pressure on the quarterback. And some of it came from inside. Some of it came off the edge. But some came with a blitz. They brought Cisco on the weak side.
They're going to scheme.
That's the kind of thing that they're going to do this year that will give them an opportunity to get pressure. Obviously, there's still some conjecture about whether or not they should have gone after a pass rusher or do go after one at the end. I really think the difference is going to be the comfortableness of the guys that are out there are going to allow them to do more things defensively, which is putting a little more pressure on the quarterback by doing some different things.
Let's stay with the first team. I know obviously that's only really 2.5 drives each, but let's stay with the first team. Who stood out to you on offense, one player? Who stood out to you on defense, one player?
Staying with the first team, I thought Harrison was solid. He had one bad play where Fowler, now again, that's a second-team guy for the Cowboys,
right?
But that's a first-round draft pick.
Yeah,
little
former
older
number
in
3
the tooth,
overall
but he
pick.
was here.
Yeah.
So he faked him out. He gave him a little inside move and came around him, and that was his only bad play.
Yeah.
I thought he handled himself really well. And then on the very next play, he gobbled up Fowler.
Yeah.
So that was a real positive in my mind, looking at him. I thought Little had a solid day. Little, he has a tendency to give up a late rush at times. If the quarterback has to hold the ball a little bit,
right?
He
That's what Leon was saying.
And Leon said he drops his head.
Yeah, he did.
In
In other words, he's got some technique work to do. But overall, I thought he handled himself pretty darn well. And then when you move there from the offensive line, I'm telling you, we got one in Hodges.
Yeah.
Hodges is going to make the team. Hodges is going to be a guy that ends up being a pretty good player here.
Yeah.
Because
He'll be a
he's
good story.
physical. I mean, he got after guys in that game. And he did one thing that is really difficult to do with a rookie, and that's pass-offs with the twists.
Tell everybody what
he
you mean.
He handled 2 of them
Yeah.
like he'd been there all day.
So explain that. That's when the defensive line twists.
When the twist, you know, they call it an ET or a TE, where either the end comes under and the tackle runs around, or the tackle busts up the field and the end comes underneath him. Those are twists.
And the guard and tackle on offense have to know to pass.
They have to pass it off
Right.
when that happens, you know, and he handled them extremely well. And even the one on the when the third quarterback made that great
Rourke.
Yeah, Nathan Rourke.
made that great
That's
play
the Canadian
at the end of the
Minshew
game.
to you.
He took his guy right up until the guy was going to get the sack, and he dumped him on the ground, and that's why he would have hit Rourke in the back if he hadn't jumped on his ground. So the guy got a hold of Rourke's legs, but he couldn't get him down. He made a good play.
So you just strong and instinctual.
Right.
Yeah.
So from the offensive line standpoint, I thought the center handled himself all right, number 60.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the
Darrell
backup.
Williams, the backup.
I did too. I thought he
Who got hurt and came back.
Yeah, so I think it's a work in progress with the backup guys, but I think the front line guys handled themselves. Hance didn't have any problem.
Nope. 13 pass blocking snaps, 0 pressures.
So that whole group, I thought, did extremely well, and that's what I'm most worried about with the young tackles and you know, that kind of stuff. You're hopeful Barch is going to come back or whatever.
Yeah, because you think the enormous reality is that you could have 3 starters with only 1 year of experience, and that would be Luke Fortner.
Right.
And at the very least, the fact that Hance looked good makes him not panic about either Shatley or Ben Barch, at least for now.
Yeah. So from the offensive line standpoint, to me, from an offensive standpoint, that was the thing that I was interested more in than any other position. Even though there are other guys obviously at every other position, but that's my concern. So I was looking at that pretty good.
Now let's go to the D-line.
Okay. Yeah.
The D-line that was playing against the
first
second team. The
Yeah.
second team offensive line
Yeah,
for the Cowboys.
Yeah. Well, let me start this way. The inside 3 guys are players.
Yeah, we think they're going to be good. Yeah,
we're
yeah,
all
yeah.
set there.
We're all good there. yep.
Okay. I thought Gotsis did okay when he was in there. And I think Lacey was really inconsistent, but he shows me something. And the thing he shows me more than anything else is his hustle.
Yep.
If you really watched him,
The effort.
his effort on balls thrown downfield, running downfield, doing all those kind of things. If he's got that mentality, he is pretty stout. Now, after
So you got 5 guys there. That's 5 guys in that rotation.
And that's all in the interior.
Very good.
Now, the 6th guy, I have absolutely no idea because all the rest of the guys are about the same. Now, I'm counting Smoot in that.
Right. Correct.
But I don't know.
They have him listed as an outside
I don't know
guy,
if
too.
they'll have to count him or not. I don't know.
No, he won't count against 53.
Okay.
They'll have
All
55
right.
players on the active
So one
roster.
of those other guys will probably make it.
Yes.
And whether that's Ledbetter or Dogby or
Vohasek.
Mondo
Yeah.
or whoever it is.
Mondo.
I'm not sure about that. Now, the outside
Now
guys.
the edge.
Now the outside guys. Walker Little played pretty good.
No, Trayvon Walker.
I mean,
Trayvon
Walker
Walker.
Little. I love Walker Little. I think he's going to be a heck of a player. Trayvon Walker played pretty good. The thing that I liked about it was when he came under, they didn't block him. He pushed the pocket right into the back, to the quarterback. When he came outside, the one that stuck out to me more than anything else, you did see him trying to make some moves. So I think he's trying to get better, right, on that, just around the corner.
Right.
And I think when it gets to be a real ball game, we'll find out. But the thing that really stuck out to me is they tried to chip him. And he broke a chip and hit the quarterback. He went right between both of them, knocked the tight end back, and then came around the tackle. So if he gets himself going, he's going to be tough to stop.
Second team O-line now. Remember that.
No, I'm a grain of salt. But what I'm saying is if he gets himself going, I'm saying against the good ones, okay, he's going to be tough to handle because it's tough to chip a guy. If they have to chip him, he's a problem.
Right.
Because once the tight end gets involved, if he can defeat the tight end, the tackle's off balance. It's not the easiest thing to do to chip. So my answer is he did okay. Nothing special. The other side really didn't do anything. I mean, it was just, he wasn't even out there. They weren't really out there long enough to really show anything. But the whole group pressured, all of them,
right?
Okay, against that team. And number 52, Devon Hamilton, I think is going to be a pretty good pass
Yeah, we were
rusher.
talking
I think
about him
he's
earlier in the
different
week,
than he's been.
Yeah.
Jason had a couple decent rushes, nothing special. The other guy, Abdullah, he's kind of a natural pass rusher, but he's inconsistent. You know, one time he'll hit the edge, and then the next time he'll run right into the tackle. Well, he can't run into a tackle. He can't bull rush. Everything he does is going to have to be run around the guy and then come underneath him if the guy oversets or something, because he's not big enough. So he's going to have, I would say he's the number 3 pass rusher right now.
Not Caleb on Chase?
No, if you look at it, I mean, because the guy's got a little naturalness to him and he can run. Now, do I think he's a good number 3? I'm not 100% convinced. So I think everybody's argument about maybe having to go get somebody is a possibility, but I really think this team is playing for the future as much as this year.
All right, we'll keep it going. We got our head coach, Dave Campo. We got a little Campo and Joe that we'll fire up for you later, and definitely looking more and more at this roster. You hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. Tell us what you think. I do like High Tide's suggestion, because I'm calling him the Canadian Minshew, but he goes with the Mountie Minshew, which is not bad, or Dudley Do-Right, one of them. But we fell in love with Nathan Rourke Saturday night, so we'll get into who else we fell in love with coming up on XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Each summer, 1010XL personalities get ready for another football season.
You have volunteered for the most intensive training known to man.
1010XL, taking Jacksonville sports talk seriously.
Did you know the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid never needs to be plugged in? The onboard system charges the batteries for you. When you think Honda, think hybrid. Good for the environment, great for your budget. Visit your local Honda dealer to experience the CR-V of the future today.
Whether you are looking for a job or an employer trying to hire, there's only one stop in Jacksonville, Remedy Staffing. Labor trends keep us guessing. As employers, the job market's been strong. So what does that mean for workers' availability? If you're interested in the workforce solutions or how the Remedy team can help you, call or text Crystal at 904-329-9802. 329-9802, Remedy Staffing.
Hurricane season is here. Make sure your home is protected by scheduling a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof Contracting. And right now, get 10% off roof replacement and repairs. The first 50 callers will save an additional $500 on a full roof replacement, plus flexible financing. This offer expires August 31st and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
Hurricane season is here, and if you own or run a business, you must protect your valuable property from parking lot floods. Call Duck Duck Rooter, your storm drain maintenance experts. Our VACCON team specializes in regular storm drain maintenance to keep your property safe and secure. With Duck Duck Rooter, you can trust our professionals to keep your storm drains clear, preventing floods and ensuring the well-being of your customers and employees. Call us today at 904-862-6769 to schedule your storm drain maintenance. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com for more information.
Go fishing with Captain Kevin.
In the water.
On the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
Thursday nights at 6.
Oh, that's a fish right there, boys.
On 1010XL AM.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. And let me get this right, Greg. Cycles is selling boats?
We are carrying the Coach Pontoon boats, which comes with a legendary Honda engines, and these things are first class.
So Honda outboard engines, if you have one, this is where you can go and get it repaired. And then you also have these pontoon boats.
In stock, ready to have some fun on the water, and they are big fun.
So it's not just Cycles of Jacksonville. They are an authorized boat dealer. Come check out the coolest new concept in pontoons. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
Hey, poker players! The Card Player Poker Tour is back at Best Bet Jacksonville from August 10th to the 21st. The tournament schedule's packed with excitement and features 9 different poker tournaments, including the $1,700 no-limit Hold'em Mystery Bounty Main Event with a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool. Head to bestbetjacks.com for the full schedule and information. That's bestbetjacks.com.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, pretty much doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Want to help improve the lives of women and make sure that all survivors of sexual assault are treated with compassion and respect? Join Farah and Farah and the Women's Center of Jacksonville at the summer's biggest breakfast, Thrive, on August 22nd to learn how to pick up the pieces after life throws you a curveball. The Women's Center of Jacksonville is a valuable community resource offering free services when they are needed the most, but they need your support. Visit the WCJ.org for more information on Thrive.
Cold beer and good grub. That's what you'll get at Taps on 210. Just a great neighborhood feel where friends and family get together. Check out Taps in the Winn-Dixie Plaza, just west of 95 on County Road 210, proudly supporting our 9 After 5 weekly. Head there for a cold one.
Ackerman Urology is now servicing the Beaches community. If you have elevated PSA, prostate, bladder, or kidney issues, plan to see the experts at Ackerman Urology right away at the new location on Atlantic and Hodges Boulevard.
Keep your ball out of the rough with the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Get great golf tips from the experts every Saturday morning at 10. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour on 1010XL. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Your Jacksonville Jaguars officially off the practice field here in Duval County and getting ready to head to Detroit for preseason game number 2 and joint practices with the Lions. I see some of you on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures curious as to why practice was halted halfway through. We haven't been communicated anything. I know E.T. actually texted me that he also got to practice and was told that they're taking him off the field early. So if we find out if it was lightning or heat, what exactly it was, we'll let you know. But interesting because, I definitely, Coach Campo and I were getting a little burned and a little heated out there the last 14 days. So if it is a heat advisory, what's different about today than the previous 14 days?
Yeah, I think the 12 o'clock start probably had a little something to do with that. And with him playing against Detroit, he wants a really good showing. I'm kind of almost in agreement that if they really get a good showing up there at Detroit, they won't play much in this next ball game. I personally would play him a little bit. I'm just saying that that's a possibility, and maybe, he just felt that they couldn't get that much done in the last 45 minutes of practice or something when it's going to be a physical deal.
That's probably what it was.
And I think Detroit has a little chip on its shoulder, and we have we have a chip on our shoulder because we got waxed by them last year.
I think Dan Campbell's probably driving that side of it.
Yeah,
for Detroit.
And I think it'll probably be a pretty good physical operation this next few days.
So before we run through the rest of the depth chart from Saturday, Coach, would you play them couple series, a full quarter, the starters on Saturday? What would be your approach if you're Doug Peterson?
Yeah, well, my first thought is that, which you guys know already, that the first game is like the second game in a 4-game preseason. The second game is like a third game. So the general census is that you let them play a little longer in that game. So I would maybe not play them a full half, but I would certainly play them enough series to get them about 15 or 20 plays.
I want a quarter.
Regardless of whether we practice against the Raiders every year. And then when we played the Raiders, we played our guys, for a half. So I'm talking about when I wasn't the head coach, when Jimmy was there.
By the way, quickly,
I think they'll play him, but I don't know how much.
About today, I think it's a thunderstorm, severe
thunderstorm.
Okay.
Looks like we got some severe storms out.
Yeah,
in,
I was on my way over here.
Clay County.
I was over here coming over here from
All-American hot dog.
Yeah.
And there were some big-time clouds building up over there.
And that would have been heading towards downtown, coming from the west side, heading towards downtown. So, All right, well, be safe. Be safe, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I agree. If you can, it was an extra practice that was added for the fans to be able to enjoy.
Right.
And then, like you said, we got a schedule. We're about to go toe-to-toe with a big boy. And so let's knock heads up there.
And speaking of the schedule, so let's say you play them for a quarter, okay, this weekend.
Right.
Do they not play in the only home preseason game then?
Yeah, you don't play the last one.
So the only time you've got them out on your home field, you're gonna have scrubs running around out there.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to that one because I want to see the scrubs play.
Yeah. You want to fill out that roster.
I think I kind of know what our team is, to be honest with
you,
with a starting 22.
All right, so let's go to this other part, which I was just
except for
venting.
that left guard.
Yeah.
Which is still
I mean,
up in the air, right?
Yeah, it is. But like I said earlier, I feel like you have at least a luxury of a guy performing well. You're not hitting a panic button.
Right.
That Blake Hance has kind of at least locked it down for now.
Right.
You don't have to force Ben Barch back, and you don't have to force Ty Shatley back.
Either we're right or we're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, at this point right now, with another game another preseason game and a operation up in Detroit, either we think this team's going to do really well or we're concerned, because at that point, what they do in that last ball game is not going to make a difference.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the young guys who's going to be the backup guys, the special teams guys, and they're going to have a cut problem. I mean, this is not an easy one.
Yeah.
It's not an easy one. I went through the thing, and I can't, the last 3 or 4 guys on that list, I don't know who it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the kind of guys.
File under a good problem to have, because they haven't had that problem
That's what
in a
they've
while.
done. They've built the team to that point.
Yeah.
So one of those positions that figures to be a pretty difficult cut is the one that you coached in the National Football League and in college, which is the DBs.
Yep.
We heard from Christian Braswell in the 1 o'clock hour.
Yep.
Walk me through the performance from some of those young guys. Who is leading the race right now? Who is jockeying for position behind that starting 3? Because as of now, it seems like Trey Herndon pretty much is the starting nickel.
Well, out of all the young guys, and there are young guys that still have to show who they are. Gregory Jr. has shown who he is through his practice and then his ability to make some plays. His effort, he's got speed. I wasn't sure what his speed is, but he can run. Watching him on the special teams, he can run. So I think Gregory Jr. is going to be the backup nickel. Now, whether or not he presses this year, I have no idea, but I have a feeling that they're going to be more of a zone team, and that allows Herndon to be out on the field because he's a pretty good player. And, the first year for a nickel in a zone scheme is harder than the first year at a nickel in a man scheme, because in a man scheme, you're either as good as he is or he's better than you are.
Right, which makes
sense.
So
it's going to be interesting there. The other guy that I think is no question in my mind is the big safety, Johnson. Johnson makes the team. Johnson's going to might even be one of the gunners. He runs a lot better than I thought he was.
And, I mean, you and I we have daily discussions on this guy whenever we at practice or wherever, because he's big and he covers ground really fast, and he was in on a bunch of tackles.
He'll be on every special team. He's the kind of guy they're looking for, the big linebacker that can run, and the safeties that are big and can run.
Right.
That's what you make on special teams. And I'll tell you what, he will hit you. Now, is he a perfect player right now? No, because he's got a lot to learn. He missed a tackle because he tried to knock the guy's tail off and he missed it. Well, that's kind of the same thing as number 2 for us. He will do the same thing. and he's a veteran.
Exactly. But as we look at these numbers, and you just got through saying these are going to be tough cuts. Okay, we just heard the interview with Christian Braswell.
Right.
We saw what Gregory Jr. has done. You start to add this up, Coach, and it looks like there's a legitimate
logjam.
I was going to say something in the neighborhood of 7 to 8 guys in the corner room that are really good.
Yep.
And then you throw Devon Wilson in, who's stepped up, and then you add there are 5 safeties right now that I don't think you can get rid of. Cisco, Thomas, Antonio Johnson, Rayshawn, and Dewey.
And that's where I've got it. I've got the 5 safeties, and at the corner position, I've only got them keeping 5.
Wow.
But that's dependent upon what happens everywhere else, so I don't know how many they're going to keep.
Who are your 5 and 5?
The 5 safeties are the ones he just said.
Right.
Rayshawn, Cisco, Dewey, DT, Antonio Johnson.
That's it. And then the corner 5 are the 3 starters.
Yep.
Gregory Jr., I think Monteric Brown.
Yep.
And then, so that's your 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
I think
the
have
Campbell
somebody
kid,
else.
the Tavon Campbell.
Tavon Campbell
kid has done really well. The young corners.
Christian Braswell. Eric Hallett.
Yep.
Devon Wilson. Caleb Hayes, your guy out of BYU.
Yeah, I don't think Caleb Hayes.
Caleb Hayes.
I think Caleb Hayes will be practice squad for sure. That's my opinion.
Yep.
He did some good things in the game because he can run. He was beat. He ran the ball down on the one. But those other guys all are about the same in a ball to me. And it really comes down to what happens on special teams in the next, few things. I think Brown because of experience. Campbell because of experience. I think they're going to make the team.
So you think Devon Campbell and Buster Brown would make the team over the young guys?
I think they're going to make the team.
And Gregory Jr. because of it.
Yeah. Well, I know Junior. I'm sure Junior's going to make it.
Yeah. So right now that's a half dozen guys.
Yeah.
And so you're basically you're going to say goodbye to Clay Brooks, basically is what that's the reality.
That's a question, too, because he's a decent special teams player. So you can throw all those guys into a lump right now, and I think you're going to come up with some decent players. Not great now because they're young guys. They're not great. That's why I like the experience of Campbell and the Tavon Campbell and Monteric Brown.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Junior's experienced from the standpoint that it's his second year.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think those guys have an edge, but those young, they've even talked about Brenny on special teams. So, I don't know who those next guys are going to be.
I want to ask you about the linebackers because you were very animated when you first got here off the air about Shaq Quarterman, since a lot of people were saying he looks too slow out there. What happened in coverage? Yeah. We are going to get to that. We'll get to some other key position battles as we look ahead to the Jaguars and the Lions. Joint practices tomorrow and Thursday up in Detroit before the big showdown in Motown at 1 o'clock on Saturday.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Long ago, sports radio was just a dream. But one brave station dared to make the leap into sports outer space. 1010XL.
One small step for man.
Out of this world.
Josie for Preferred Roofing and the entire Preferred group that has been a part of Jacksonville for a long, long time. And that's what I like, the alignment, the allegiance, and knowing that they're part of the community. And they've got all these different divisions that they can definitely help you in the construction game. Preferred Roofing, if it's time for replacement, if it's time for repair, get in touch with them. They are high rated and they certainly can back up their work. And then Preferred Builders, remodels, additions, brand new homes, whatever it might be. The gutter division is right there, and they were on the spot down at Josie's Habitat, putting some gutter covers on for me. So check it all out. Preferred Group. Don't forget preferredroofingjacks.com and preferredbuildersjacks.com.
Hey Jacksonville, this is 17-time PGA Tour winner Jim Furyk inviting you to join me and the legends of the PGA Tour for the 3rd annual Constellation Furyk and Friends presented by Circle K, October 2 through 8 at Timaquana Country Club. Public parking is free, along with complimentary tournament access for our military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Go to Ticketmaster to get your tickets today, and if you're not traveling to London, but watch the Jags this fall, join us Sunday morning in the Publix Tailgate Village to catch the game on the big screen. For more information, visit ConstellationFurykandFriends.com.
Toilet or shower not draining? Water bill high? So many issues you want to cry? Call Mr. Rooter of Jacksonville. Have your number 2 business serviced by your number 1 plumber. Let us do your dirty work. Call us today.
Mr. Rooter, Mr. Rooter. Warmer weather is here, and with it, longer days mean more time for golf. Hidden Hills offers twilight rates every day after 3 p.m. Affordable golf on a fantastic golf course. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com and book your tee time today.
Summer means fun in all forms. Longer days and more chances to soak up the sun and the fun. Budweiser and Bud Light reminding you to drink wiser. Hydrate between beers and don't sweat it. It's the best way to get home safely.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 15th, 1999 PGA Championship Men's Golf, Tiger Woods wins his second major championship by 1 stroke ahead of Sergio Garcia.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
It all comes down to Daytona in the Coke Zero Sugar 400 race weekend, August 25th and 26th. Answer this question for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400, August 26th. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010 for your chance to win.
I want my Woody's barbecue. Have you ever noticed that some words that were once nouns are now verbs? Like Google? Instead of going to Google, you just Google it. Well, I did that the other day with Woody's barbecue. Instead of going to Woody's for barbecue, I told the wife that tonight we're going to Woody it. She looked at me kind of funny at first, and then she smiled and said, "Let's eat." At Woody's barbecue, it's what we do.
Let's eat.
'Tis the season to be cool. Florida Home AC wants to make sure you're not cooked like a Christmas goose this summer. Make sure your AC unit is ready for the heat, and if it's time to look at replacement, look for quality and value. You'll get that from Florida Home AC. And right now, take advantage of $1,750 off a brand new heating and AC unit. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com for all the details and trust a company that will always keep you cool. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
Bob Arablo here, president of Your Jacksonville Iceman. Thanks to the doctors and staff at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, our team is well taken care of. We're proud to be associated with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. Our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is ready to help you too. We'd like to thank the coaches and schools who trust in our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Doug Peterson will have the Jaguars practice today in Jacksonville. He will then take the team to Detroit for 2 days in a row of joint practices with the Lions.
It's just good to see it a little bit different, a little different perspective, because, we know our defense knows our offense, and sometimes it just goes back and forth where not too many people win. But here you get to compete against another team in a controlled environment. Your starters are going to get the bulk of the work this week. And again, you're still evaluating. We're still in training camp and evaluating. But the fact that we get to see a different team, a different structure, those are all things that are beneficial to us as a football team.
Doug Peterson, courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
We'll turn that clock for you, Joe. Don't
I
worry.
like it. That's because I'm the only one keeping up with it.
We're
It's
gonna make
2:38.
sure. We're gonna make sure that we are to time on a lovely Tuesday here in Duval County with Coach Campo.
Yep. All right, so we got one more little seg with Coach, and we mentioned the practices, and we mentioned that now you're more and more convinced that the starters may not play a bunch Saturday afternoon. Right. So just kind of give us a reason why. A good one, Coach. A good one.
Well,
I want them to hit.
Well, I think this is going to be without the tackling.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a game-like situation. It always was for us. We learned a lot about our team when we played against when we had
the Raiders back then.
Back in the day. They'd come out and they had a lot of speed at receiver. We didn't. They'd run by us, and our guys would figure it out that, hey, when we play these guys, we got to cover.
Was it always 2 days or longer than that?
2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 days. And I think from that standpoint, I would, if I was going to say who's going to play more in the game this weekend, it would be the defense. If I had to choose between the two.
To Matt's point, defense.
Yeah.
Because they've got two good, if they're playing anybody, which you don't know either, but their tackles are really good, the offensive tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be good for our guys to get some rushes against them.
You would think they're playing once for at least a quarter, right?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. So in my mind, that would be what I would do is I'd play defense more in the game than I would the offense.
All right, before we get to our 3 takeaways, the linebacker situation. Debunk for us. Was Shaq Quarterman out of position? We had some texters yesterday that were questioning Chad Muma. What did you see out of that position group before we hit our 3 takeaways?
Yeah, well, first of all, Lloyd is light years away from where he was. He knows where he's supposed to be. He's getting into position, and he's got athletic ability. So on the pass drops, he's where he needs to be. It looks like his eyes are much better. He understands what they're doing. He's going to be a blitzer. He's going to be pretty good. You got something, Joe? Oh. Quarterman, he's a little inconsistent, but he is a hitter. And the play that he got beat down the middle, I think was poor coverage. Not his coverage, poor in general.
Right.
And I went over it a little bit with Matt, but I can't do it here. But
yeah.
The one thing about Quarterman was he was on Junior's caused fumble. Muma was really bad. It was leverage. The guy caught the ball up underneath, and he was approaching from the outside. You always go inside, outside with the 2 linebackers, and he overran it, and the guy went down the sideline. Well, Quarterman was about to tackle the guy. That was about 40 yards down the field, I think. And so he does some good things, but, I think Ventrell Miller, if they have to keep him.
Yeah.
He's an instinct guy, and they may have to keep him because he's a draft pick, a 4th-round draft pick. That might be the end for Quarterman in that position.
All right, Matt, include that in your takeaway.
Now, today's takeaways, brought to you by Key Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
All right, top takeaway.
My top takeaway is I think these two practices with the Lions are going to be very, very important. Very important. And, Dave said earlier, that he thinks that, preseason games, you get more out of them than the practices just because it's a game and it's you like to see how guys react. I want to see how these guys react when they start to bang. They start to bang someone else, and they start to bang a good team. So I think it's going to be very important. I agree with you. I think that the preseason game will also be important because it'll be ones versus ones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
I think the next couple days, the intel we get out of Frangie the next few days is going to be interesting.
My takeaway comes from the college football realm. I enjoyed our exercise going through the AP Top 25, which teams know who their quarterback will be, which ones will not, which ones are like Kirby Smart and refuse to concede that Carson Beck is his starter. But I would like to thank the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, who did the heavy lifting and discovered the two writers, because I can't find the third and fourth from the AP Top 25 voting contingent pool, who did, in fact, put the University of Florida in their preseason top 25.
Beautiful, beautiful. Someone is trying to love on them. Top takeaway is that other teams in the AFC are getting better. Is this team getting better? Dalvin Cook gets signed by the New York Football Jets. Zeke Elliott, on a price, goes up to New England, but mainly Dalvin to New York. That football team got better last night, and they're going to go toe-to-toe with this team to make sure that someone's going to challenge the Chiefs for the AFC. That's for sure. All right, those are our takeaways. Coach.
Okay, my takeaway is I'm with Matt from the standpoint that I think this next game you're going to have a pretty good idea if they play, which I believe they're going to play a little bit, of your defensive guys more than anything else, because you have to tackle, you have to rush the passer. Those are the things that are the concerns going into this one.
Yeah.
And then the two offensive tackles.
Love it, love it. All right, we'll wrap ours up. Say hello to the Frangie Show coming up next.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. 1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
This partnership is over. I quit.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
What? Just because a couple of broken ankles?
Some of his ribs are also broken.
Mornings on 1010XL.
You are so selfish. Me?
The blockbuster event of the summer is here.
Outrunning a helicopter isn't exactly what I had in mind for my beach getaway.
But this isn't another full-throttle action movie. It's the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event.
Wait, what?
Featuring the action-packed 2023 Nissan Rogue and Nissan Sentra, with sport modes that give the performance of a lifetime.
Stealing my spotlight.
And now comes the real star of the show.
Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select road trims. Availability is limited, so shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Better hurry. These offers won't get a sequel.
For well-qualified buyers, 0% APR financing for 36 months on new 2023 Rogue, excluding S-Trim and dealer stock. Example, 36 months financing at $27.78 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to residency restrictions and NMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 9/5/23.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Taylor Dahl here for Renewal by Anderson. You will love your new custom windows and doors. For a limited time, buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free. The first 50 callers get a free upgrade to TrueScene window screens, plus easy payment plans tailored to fit your budget. Offer expires August 31st. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com. License number CGC 1527613.
Pads will pop, and the practice field will rock. Get daily training camp coverage brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control and Roland Leash Plumbing.
That's it.
On 1010XL.
Come to Bowden Eye for all your eye care needs. Hicken here. Did you know that dry eye disease affects up to 60 million Americans? Dry eye disease is known to progress. Dry eye disease is one of the most common but least diagnosed eye conditions doctors see in their patients. Many of us who have dry eye may not even feel it. At Bowden Eye and Associates, visit today for your personal consultation. Keeping the First Coast focused. Bowden Eye and Associates. New location now open off County Road 210 in St. Johns County.
Hey, this is Jason with Bueller Air Conditioning. Why do we love to go to that awesome grocery store where shopping is a pleasure? Why do we choose that amazing chicken sandwich where the service is fast and friendly and it's always their pleasure? You see, those brands are a promise. Here at Bueller Air, our team is committed to serving the customer and delivering that same kind of brand promise. Our mission is to be the most trusted brand with friendly and professional service every single time. Give us a call today or visit BuellerAir.com.
My partners had told me I should get my knee replaced. I was in my 40s, and I decided that I wouldn't do that.
That's orthopedic surgeon Dr. John Herzog, who found regenerative medicine years ago and became a believer.
It changed my life around. It improved me to a point where I was able to jog again.
That's when Dr. Herzog switched his focus from surgery to helping his patients with natural biologics.
I've treated at least 5,000 patients. I believe your body has everything it needs to heal itself.
Today, you'll find Dr. Herzog at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in this exciting field of medicine that can give lasting pain relief with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery.
I have patients coming up to me that I did 10 years ago saying, Doc, my elbow's still working great. I'm playing tennis 3 days a week.
Call QC Kinetics now to explore alternative ways to deal with your pain. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
Had a good time today. Visited with Coach Campo this last hour. We'll break it down with a little Campo and Joe podcast. We'll go Facebook Live in just a little bit, so hopefully you'll be able to tune into that. But you got plenty more coming your way right here on the airwaves.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
The Embedded and Shredded. He joins us now. Hayes Carline, ready to rock and roll. You got the Frangie show with, Frangie, can you give us the airplane signal, JJ? On a flight up to, there you go, up to Detroit. So he will have shows tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday.
I tell you what, if you're a steakhouse in Detroit, you're going to have a good week.
Look out.
Because Frangie and company are coming.
You know what they'll do? Like you and I, we may look at it and go, okay, that looks like a good joint. All right, there may be some music played there. They just type in steak.
That's right.
Just type in steak.
Loggeman apparently was on the early flight, so Lord knows the steakhouses may already have been invaded. I'm looking at the weather radar right now, Carline, and hopefully they can get the Jags plane up in the air.
Yeah, it was crazy. We had a lightning strike come out of nowhere when they were pressing outside today. They went indoors, and hopefully they'll have no issues and be able to get to Detroit.
All right, so one thing that we at least debated, I'm sure you guys will debate over the next handful of days once we do see what the joint practices look like, how much will they play in the actual game, the starters?
I think it's a great question. I think a lot of it just comes down to what does Doug feel like the starters got out of Wednesday and Thursday. If he feels good about it, then I don't think you play him. If he feels like, it was a little lackluster, then maybe you put him out there a little bit. But, I mean, the starters are going to get the bulk of the reps Wednesday and Thursday.
Right.
And that's the whole point of what you're doing. So I think it then becomes a difficult situation if you then want to play them a half Saturday. So I think it's going to be, very minimal in terms of what the starters do, if anything, Saturday. Because my guess is that Doug will be satisfied with Wednesday and Thursday, and we'll shut it down from there.
I totally get what you're saying, and I fight it, because I want to see a quarter of ball because you're not going to see him for 3 more Sundays. After that's the only reason that I sit there.
And that's what's interesting. It's like, then what do you do in the Dolphins game? Do you because that is a long layoff. If you don't play them against the Lions on Saturday, then it's a pretty decent layoff. So would you put them out there against Miami just for a little bit in the preseason finale, which normally you wouldn't,
right?
Because you are then pretty close. So it's sort of a fine line. It's almost like this is not an ideal week to do the joint practices. It almost seems like you'd be better off doing them either in week 1 or week 3 of the preseason. But week 2 kind of creates an interesting dynamic in terms of rust versus you're now so close to the opener for that Miami preseason game that now you're talking about even like an ankle sprain, could be, affect the opener September 10th. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Doug Peterson handles this.
All right, what do you guys got coming?
We are going to talk all sorts Jaguars. I had a chance to catch up with Foley Fatakasi, who's having a great camp, so we'll certainly play that interview early on. We're going to have Mike Golick Jr. join us at 5 for our college football report, so we're certainly excited about that. And our good friend Justin Barney is going to pop in the 5 o'clock hour to talk some high school football and some Jaguars and all sorts of fun things. So, yeah, Frank traveling. It'll be Lauren, RJ, myself, and then some special guests.
All right, we love it. We love it. Thank you, Hayes.
Thank you.
Jay Barn, he will double up, a little double dip, because we're going to bring back our high school half hour tomorrow, and so he'll definitely start
Look
to.
at Jay Barn sitting in for the franchise.
And he's been doing plenty of Jaguar work, so he'll be versed on all things. That's for sure. And he was at FSU practice, so he. One thing about it over there at Channel 4, he sees it all.
He's a hustler, man.
Yeah, he's hustling. All right, so we had a good day. We appreciate everybody listening and hanging out with us. Thanks to Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota. Don't forget both of them. Great deals, and they're there to wow you. And they are also giving away to a first responder. It's up to you with a Wow Local Hero. Make sure you log on and nominate a first responder and see if you can get them that brand new ride courtesy of Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevy. Joe C., Mia O'Brien, Maddie Hayes, Coach, Big Sirs, and JJ. You got the Franchise Show coming up next.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. The home of the home team you grew up with.
McCardell is the Thunder and the Thunder and Lightning combination, along with Jimmy Smith. Quite a duo.
1010XL.
Mia here, and my friends over at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned are doing it again. They're fighting inflation and saving you even more. I'm going to call it Arlington's Inflation Fighter Special, because now that pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla I told you about, it's not $1,000 down. Nope. Now it is just $500 down and $288 per month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma, not $1,000 down. Nope. I'm talking half of that, just $500 down and $388 per month. And it doesn't stop there. Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned has over 400 used cars in stock, plus more than 100 vehicles under $18K. And you still get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it for one that you do. Everyone agrees, inflation, bad. But now we can also agree on this. The Inflation Fighter specials at Arlington Pre-Owned, oh so good. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Clearwater. John, I can't even mow my side yard. It's so soggy. Man, my builder sucks. Brent, calm down. This is a common problem in neighborhoods where houses are built too close together. You need gutters and a properly installed French drain that will soak up subsurface water. We can completely dry it up. So I can take my builder off my speed dial now, huh? Yeah, we got you, buddy. Let that builder bitterness go.
Clearwater irrigation and drainage too.
If you're looking for exterior solutions that provide you reliability and durability, it's time to call Armor Guard Exteriors. Whether you need seamless gutters or gutter protection, hurricane products, impact windows, glass lanais, or retractable awnings and screens, we've got you covered. Call My Home Team today for your 5-star experience at 904-906-8669.
Armor Guard Exteriors, committed to quality, and that's a promise.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners, Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy, higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
This is Hayes Carline for Island Wing Company, located on Southside near Tinseltown, and our new location at Bartram Park in St. Johns County. 2 great locations offering the ultimate ultimate sports bar experience where you can stick to healthy options. Island Wing Company has a wide selection of fryer-free food. The wings are baked, not fried, with so many awesome flavors to choose from. You can also get delicious salmon, tuna, flatbreads, and tacos. With tons of spectacular TVs, dog-friendly patios, and 2 daily happy hours, Island Wings can't be beat.
Do you have a plumbing problem that's making you feel like a sitting duck? Call Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic. Our team of expert plumbers will have your pipes flowing smoothly in no time. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey folks, you know you want shark coatings, and the time is now. So close your eyes and let's imagine your garage. Wait, if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. Just wait till you get home. The rest of you see those cracks, the stains? It looks dark, dull, and dreary. It's nothing you're proud of. It's your house junk drawer. Now, see your floor with shark coatings. It's bright, it's durable, it's fresh. Since it's non-porous, it will be so much easier to clean. Don't imagine your garage, driveway, porch, or pool deck this way. Get with shark coatings and have a brand new space with new possibilities.
Ackerman Urology's new Beaches location is now open, conveniently located on Atlantic Boulevard near Hodges. Visit the experts at Ackerman for all your prostate and urological concerns. AckermanUrology.com.
E.T. here for the Aesthetic Center.